Eagles. Eagles.
And welcome in, everybody, to a Game Day Monday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, John McMullen, kicking off a big week of content, everybody. Starting off on a Game Day Monday. Johnny Mac, how you doing this Monday morning, my friend?
Football finally here.
Yeah,
What was it been 15, 16 days? What is it? Yeah, it's been a long time.
15 days, yeah. I think it's been 15 days.
Yeah, rare stretch like that in the regular season. We'll see. Typically, the Eagles have been very successful coming off bye weeks. Good game, good teams, two good teams, two of the best teams in the NFC. I think they'll still tell us a lot about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a good litmus test type of game to see where they stand. Obviously on the road at Lambeau Field in Green Bay tonight for the Birds. Maybe the toughest test or one of the toughest tests so far of the season. I know we had some good opponents early in the year, but early in the year is early in the year. You know, you're in week 10 now, so teams have their identities a little bit more and less preseason atmosphere after September. So here we have the Green Bay Packers. Johnny Mac, what's the update real quick? But we're going to get into a bunch of stuff today. We're going to have Jeff Kerr. I want to welcome everybody in here. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's game day, everybody. But what is the update on who's playing? I know I saw Cam Jurgens is officially ruled out of this game. Jair Alexander ruled out. He is not traveling with the team to Green Bay. What do you know, Johnny Mac? What can you give us kind of an inside scoop on that type of stuff?
Yeah, well, Cam, he didn't practice all week, so it was evident early on that he wasn't going to play. So, still haven't put him on injured reserve. Today's because of the Monday night game. You can push things off your typical Saturday moves. You can push them off to Monday. So I expect the Eagles to activate Nolan Smith from injured reserve. He's listed as questionable, but we'll see how that goes. Jacorian Bennett and Wooly Lampkin are also on their 21-day practice windows. If the Eagles wanted to activate them today, they would have to make subsequent roster moves, which is always a possibility. But as far as guys on the 53-man roster, Cam's and Jair are the only ones ruled out. Jair, more of a acclimation, ramp up, whatever you want to call it, period. Trying to get his knee as healthy as possible to sort of, catch lightning perhaps down late in the season. That's the goal with him. I wish people would listen to this show. They would have already known it. The only new part is he didn't travel, and maybe they don't want to bother him with returning to Green Bay, and everybody thinks this is some kind of massive deal, more than a dart throw, which is kind of what it is. So I think people have to sort of reset their mentality, their sentiments, their thought process on that particular trade. They gave up a 6th-round pick to get the guy, and they got a 7th-round pick back, by the way. So really, sort of just dropping down, although it was different years, but dropping down and draft. So didn't give up a ton. It's more of a dart throw. But Cam's the big injury. Brett Toth will play again at center. You have Drew Kendall to be the backup. And as I said, we'll see about Willie Lampkin. I will say, and we don't get to watch a lot of practice, but what I did see with Willie's more working at guard, not center. So I'm not sure that would be the plan. So again, relatively healthy team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And everybody before the bye that you were thinking about, Saquon tweaked his groin against the Giants, AJ with the hamstring. Kylan Granson popped up with an abdomen. Adoree Jackson coming off the concussion protocol. Moro Jomo, again, concussion. Those guys were all full participants by Saturday, the last practice of the week, and they will all be ready to go if the Eagles want them. And obviously certain players, Saquon, AJ, Moro, are definitely going to play.
Yeah, there you go. There's your injury update. John, do you know anything real quick? I didn't have a chance to look at the Packers report. Do you know if any of their key guys are missing in this game? Do you know?
I know Zach Tom is questionable. He's a big one because
Yeah.
he's one of the more underrated players, I think, in the league, and is very important to their offensive line. He's had some injury issues this year. Darian Kennard's out there, by the way, and has played well when he's been forced into play. But obviously, Zach Tom is a very good player. He's dealing with a back injury. He's been limited all week. He's questionable. I think he's going to play. Dontavian Wicks has been limited with a calf injury, and that's always difficult for a receiver. So that might be an issue. Savion Williams has also been limited with a foot. He's another receiver. Matthew Golden with the shoulder listed as practice. Now, he did not practice on Friday and Saturday. So we'll see.
That's three receivers, man, on the report for that. Now, maybe two of them play, but
yeah. So they're banged up at receiver. Everybody else is Nate Hobbs, I should mention him. He's the one guy they ruled out. He's a corner.
And I think Lucas Van Ness, right? You might have mentioned him.
Yes, Lucas also. Thank you. He's out. So he's out with a foot injury. And they had 1, 2. That's why I missed them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people on their injury report this week that were dealing with something. So yeah, the Eagles have the advantage from the health standpoint. Bottom line is that's been every game. And that luck of health continues, whatever, if you don't want to use that term. I know the Eagles don't like it, but they're on a hell of a run when it comes to
partly luck. I don't care what you say. I mean, it's football, man. People get hurt. There's no doubt about it. It's partly luck. All right, John, good stuff there on the injury reports. I'm going to go next real quick just to the weather. I was looking at the weather. Looks like there won't be much snow tonight, but that sucker's going to be cold. It's supposed to get down there in the 20s during the game and might even get as low as 20 degrees during the game tonight. So should be a pretty chilly, the first really chilly game of the year for this Eagles team out in Green Bay.
Yeah, that's Green Bay in November. That's pretty good, man. Yeah,
I
I mean, and remember the field is heated out there, so I don't think it'll be an issue whatsoever. There's light snow, I think, during the day, but it's supposed to be out of there by game time, and it'll start at 28 and go down from there. But that's pretty good for Green Bay. I mean,
I didn't realize they had a heated field. That obviously changes a lot because when you get tackled, you're not getting
Yeah, I mean, it's still cold as crap. But,
no, I know. But it helps. Frosted over turf or grass, and that's not fun.
Well, it's not about the comfort. It's about the playing surface as far as being better for the players and
grip and things like
that type of thing. It's still, when it's that cold, it's still cold. But it could be much worse in Green Bay this time of year. Could be better, but it could be worse as well.
Yep. All right, Johnny Mac, top of the mind before we get into some of the detailed conversation, some of the key matchups in this game, 5 things to watch we'll go over. What's kind of just on your mind coming into the game in terms of keys to the game, keys to victory for maybe either team? Like, what do you think the Eagles have to do offensively, defensively? Where do you think the Packers have to be offensively, defensively? What do you kind of see as the keys to this game coming in Eagles-Packers Week 10?
Well, I lean more towards the Packers side because they're the ones chasing the Eagles from the standpoint of, as a contender, and having played them twice last season, lost to them both times, lost to them in the playoffs. And obviously the big difference between the Packers last season and the Packers this season is the addition of Micah Parsons, which some interesting poison pill stories came out about. Packers aren't allowed to trade him to the Eagles. So that's how, that when you talk about the Eagles offering 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick and players, it was never going to happen in Dallas. And that's just another indication of that. As nutty as Jerry Jones is, he was not going to do that. And that poison pill tells you exactly that. But that's number one. And the Eagles know, and they're used to playing him, and they game plan for him, and they've been successful in the past. But I also think, we compared against most players, most teams, we always talk about the Aaron Donald thing now. Eagles fans would puff up their chest that they never gave up a sack to Aaron Donald, which is true. But I've had this get, you don't know what they did to accomplish that.
Right.
So much. And Kelsey tells great stories about that. Just how good he was and how dominant he was. And, if there was a one-on-one in it with Aaron Donald, it was a mistake, in Kelsey's own words. And I'm not going to say it's to that level, but it's close with Micah Parsons. And, he's, I think, 7 games with the Eagles, and he's got 5 sacks. Now, compare that to usual. That's pretty stinking good against the Philadelphia Eagles. He's just a really difficult player to deal with. And the one thing I like about the Packers, they've gotten back more to what the Cowboys did early in his career when they moved him all over the place, because they started at off-ball linebacker, and it was an injury, and you know the story, and they used to move him all over the place, and that sort of tempered when he got so good at being an edge rusher. They kind of flipped him from side to side, but it wasn't much. The Packers will line him up sort of like early Cowboys-esque, and if that means inside, that means inside. You might see him against Brett Toth. I'm not saying a lot, but you might see him against Brett Toth. They seem more willing to do that than the Cowboys were at the end. So it always starts with him. And talking to the Eagles over the years, it always starts with him when they're playing him. So that's number one. And then I think turnovers, it's the Eagles don't turn the football. It's the most amazing thing. I one of the best thing about these weeks about when the Eagles aren't playing on Sunday, I don't like them typically, but you get to watch the rest of the league, and I try to watch Red Zone so I can get a feel for each game.
Yeah.
There's turnovers all over the stinking place in this league.
Yeah.
All over the place. And they don't turn the football over. It is amazing. And it starts with Jalen Hurts, but it's not only Jalen Hurts. They don't fumble. They don't turn the football over. And, Green Bay hasn't turned the football over that much, not to the level of the Eagles, but Jordan Love only has 3 interceptions. And they've been very good. So I think turnovers are always big in every NFL game, but these are 2 teams that take very good care of the football this season. If you go back to last season, the Eagles beat the Packers because they turned it over 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
They only scored, I don't know, 21, 20, whatever it was.
Points. They won. Is it like a playoff game? They won 22-10. Jordan Love had 3 interceptions in that game.
Yeah, and there was a special teams turnover as well. That's how they won that football game. That was actually one of those Jalen Hurts games where he only threw for a very low amount of yardage. I think people forget that. So turnovers are going to be big in this game. The Eagles have to keep that ball security run going, and Green Bay has to sharpen it. And then, you asked me before we started the show, I joked on Thursday last week was the largest media group of the year because they got all the new players. By Saturday, because they typically don't practice them, it was the smallest media group of the year. I think I caught Devontae. I think I caught him. Not purposefully. We were talking about the identity, not the identity. We weren't talking about the identity. It morphed into that. We were talking about having so many good players and the idea that the old idea there's only one football, and when you have so many good players, it's tough to get everybody their reps. So I went back. I said, well, you were at Alabama. You guys had some damn good players at Alabama, so you must be used to that. And he was like, yeah, but we it's not the same to me. He said basically it's two different situations. Because they were a pass first team.
Yeah.
And
he got the football a lot at Alabama.
Well, obviously he won the Heisman Trophy, and I brought that. I mean, you were the number one guy, but yet still you had tons of good players. And he basically said, yeah, but those are two different situations. We're a passing team there, and I'm quoting him now, and that's what we wanted to do going into games. That was the identity, throwing the ball. Here, we know the identity. We know the identity. This is where I caught him. Nobody talks about, well, we're trying to find. No, they know their identity. Controlling the game, ground and pound.
Right.
When we have those chances outside, we can make the opportunities on the outside. We're going to do that. So, it's different situations. He let the cat out of the bag. They know. Like, that's why Devontae sometimes and AJ walk around like Eeyore. They know what the goal is. And the goal is run the ball, ground and pound, control the game. So can we stop talking I'm not talking to you. Can we stop having this identity question? And it goes back to that Minnesota game coming out of the mini bye. Like, well, they're throwing it there. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan. The plan going into the game, as Devontae said with Alabama, we wanted to throw the ball. Here, ground and pound, control it. Nothing wrong with it, but just the identity talk.
Yeah, right. Because it's obviously the big question in Philly, like every damn week,
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they're not changing. Now, the game, the personality of the game, as it did against the Vikings, may change it. And as Nick has said a million times, we got to throw it 40 times. We'll throw it 40. We got to run it. But the goal going into the game is to get the running game going. Always.
Now, speaking of that offense, John, coming in with no Cam Jurgens again, looks like Brett Toth is going to be the center. He is going to be the center tonight. How much does that shift? Because, they did run a lot of under center the last two games, especially in that Giants game in week 8. And maybe some people pointed to, was that a philosophical change, or was that Brett Toth doesn't like to snap the ball in shotgun as much? How do you kind of see that part playing out tonight? I think the identity will obviously be to run the football, but that does give you the opportunity to have the play actions, to do some of those different things from under center that they did in week 8. How much do you expect that to impact the game tonight?
Yeah, I think it was a happy coincidence with Brett Toth.
Mm-hmm.
But no, if Cam was ready, they were going, their whole thought coming out of the mini bye when they got started on the self scout was that teams are selling it out, crashing the opposite end to stop the run game when you're running from shotgun, from the gun or even pistol. And they wanted to get under center more. Happy coincidence that Brett was in there. And by the way, he played. He was the best player on the field against the Giants.
That's why I wonder if it's like, is he better than Cam Jurgens when Cam's not healthy? Probably is.
Maybe.
We'll
see.
Cam has not been himself this year, all year, even all the games.
Well, that's fair. He's not playing up to it. But, it is one game. I want to see him again.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I'm more concerned about Cam than I am excited about Brett. I'm happy Brett had a big game. I'm more with you where you got to keep saying it. When it comes to Cam, I think we saw a pretty good sample size that he's not the same.
He definitely wasn't playing like himself. But either was Landon Dickerson until that Giants game. And all of a sudden, Landon Dickerson looked like Landon Dickerson again. So, hopefully that continues after the bye, because I think you could have said the same thing. So, But now, I'm a little bit more worried about this knee injury because it's not the back, it's the knee that's keeping Cam Jurgens out now. Now, they still haven't put him on injured reserve. They could today. We'll see how that shakes out. And obviously, if he goes on injured reserve, that's at least 4 games. But he's not on there yet. And until they put him on there, that's an indication that they think he'll be back before that 4 games. Now, you already had 1. This would be number 2. So then you have Detroit. By the way, Detroit bounced back in a big freaking way. Yeah. That's the part of when I talk about the spot. Again, Green Bay played poorly last week. I don't like that spot because generally good teams, and again, they're a good team. I don't know if there is a great team, but they're a good team. Generally, they don't have 2 bad games in a row. I don't like that spot. So I'm sure we'll get into that as well. But yeah, I mean, a little concerned about Cam and where it is, but CIA level subterfuge with the Eagles and injuries these days.
Yeah, I don't need to hear from their mouth. I can see with my own 2 eyes. That's not the same football player, and he was healthy at the start of the year. Not healthy in, as healthy as he could be.
Healthy-ish.
Yeah, healthy-ish, I think is a good word for it.
That's like Jair Alexander in Baltimore. A lot of people, well, they traded him. He's healthy. Nah, he's healthy-ish. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You don't want the guy in Baltimore, and the guy in Baltimore is dealing with knee issues. You want to get him as optimal as possible to try to sort of catch lightning later in the season is the goal with Jair Alexander.
Yeah, Johnny Mac, good stuff. We're going to talk to Jeff Kerr in a little bit. I want to welcome and thank everybody for being here. Game day, everybody. It feels like it's been months since Eagles football. 15 days. That was a long 15 days. I'm happy to see the Birds back on the TV. For all the YouTube TV people out there, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to watch the game tonight. You're going to have to figure that out on your own time. I appreciate you being here, though, so hit that like button. Cable news, stand up, baby. The cable people in the building who have not cut the cord, stand up, all right? That is us, so good stuff there. John, what'd you make of, real quick before we get to Jeff, when he joins in? We obviously have plenty to talk about with Eagles-Packers. What'd you make of so far, Week 10 in the NFL yesterday? Rams.
I'll tell you what, a lot of blowouts. That late window was tremendously disappointing. The Rams blew out the 49ers, a lot of injuries. Rams are good. Lions blew out the Commanders. Now the Commanders are dead in the water. Lions are good. Seahawks destroyed the Cardinals. I think that thing was 35-0 at one point. My guy Sam Darnold keeps doing it.
He didn't do much though yesterday. I think he had like 12 pass attempts.
Well, it was.
I'm not taking away from him. I'm just saying that team is really a team right now that's clicking on all cylinders. If you can win a game at that level with 12 passes, you got a lot of stuff working for you.
Well, it was 35-0 with this. Yeah. All the stuff early, and then they kind of scaled it back and just went to the finish line. A lot of non-competitive games yesterday. Even the Bills got destroyed by the Dolphins, which was weird. But you hit that time of the Jags had a terrible loss too. They had a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter, and they gave that up. The Bears won. So again, the 6-3 Bears, and they're coming up soon on Black Friday for the Eagles. But I mean, Jackson Dart was killing them. And then they got a concussion. Brian Daboll couldn't bust in and get him through the concussion protocol. I think the Giants were going to win that game with Jackson Dart, and then they just couldn't do anything after he got hurt. But they couldn't stop him on the ground. And 2 things with that. Jackson Dart's going to kill himself because he's getting murdered. But he's a really difficult dude to deal with the running game.
He's in the fourth time, though. He was in the concussion,
Yeah.
Somebody's got to tell that guy, dude, this isn't college. You're gonna get creamed. Relax.
And then the AFC North, the Ravens didn't even play well. I think the Vikings defense did a really good job, but the quarterback just can't play. I don't know how many times he can't play.
No, he's awful.
He can't play.
I think he completed like 50% of his passes yesterday. He was terrible.
He's like accuracy wise, he's like your garden hose, the spray function. It sprays all over the place. You don't know where it's going. To be what bothers me so much about JJ McCarthy is usually, even when you're talking about complete flubs like Anthony Richardson, most recently, you see the natural talent, you see the physical skills of a top 10 pick, even if they stink. You see those. He doesn't have the gifts of a top 10 pick, and he can't play the position. That is a bad formula. I think he had 6 batted balls at the line of scrimmage. They had 8 ball starts at home, and I'm watching on Red Zone, and there were 2 times Brian O'Neill, Christian Darrisaw, 2 really good tackles. They're pissed off. They were pissed off at the quarter. He's fooling his own team with the damn cadence. This is like training camp stuff. That is a bad situation.
You were on that early, John. You were on that in summer.
I point out because the Ravens are 4-5. They're going to coast to win that division, starting 1-5.
Their defense looks a lot better right now. The Ravens.
Well, I don't know. I'll throw that game out because the quarterback was so bad. But
that's true.
The Steelers were awful against the Chargers, who are also really up against it because they lost both their tackles. They didn't play well, the Chargers, but it looks
and the Bucs lost that game to the Patriots. That Patriots team is good, man.
They're good. So the Ravens are going to win the AFC North. Those 3 teams in the late window, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Lions, they're all good. And the Patriots, they're a good team. Got to give them credit. Good coach, changed the philosophy. It's Vrabel and McDaniels now, Drake May, one of the better young quarterbacks. But you're starting to see November, and this is when it happens, when you see the good teams. Like, the Rams are good now. The Lions are good. The Seahawks are good. The Patriots are good.
Colts, they won. They won. Jonathan Taylor, holy shit, what a game for him.
Yeah, he had a big game, but I was a little disappointed in their performance. They needed to really struggle to win that. Yeah. And they had a bunch of red zone stuff, and Daniel Jones didn't play well. So he's kind of taken out early in the season. He was playing lights out. He's come down to earth a little bit. So a little bit of concern there, but they won the game at least, as you point out. Taylor over 200 yards.
Yeah. Good stuff there in week 10. Some interesting teams. Obviously, the Rams are looking good, but their schedule hasn't been great. Same with the Patriots. I understand that, but those 2 teams are playing real good. Good stuff there. We got Jeff Kerr in the green room who's set to join us right here on Birds 365. Let's bring him up now. You can follow him at Jeff Kerr CBS. Jeff, what's going on, my man? How you doing this morning?
A peaceful NFL Sunday, but what I said to John, I'm bored, guys. I'm bored.
Yeah. Well, here you get to talk about the NFL. It's the first time the Eagles have played in 6 months, I think, Jeff. 6 months.
That's what it feels like, honestly.
Yeah, it really does. All right, Jeff, we'll talk about some NFL Week 10. Just what's on your mind? Coming in, Eagle-Packer, Monday night game. The Eagles are coming off the bye week, obviously. They had a little bit of a shift in their offensive approach in the last couple games. What's kind of on your mind, top of mind here for the keys to the game in Eagles versus Packers tonight?
Well, I'm thinking big picture right now, and that's the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I think that's going to be determined over the next 2 weeks, at least in the Eagles' point of view. Because if you can beat the Packers, and again, this is going to be a really tough task, by the way, beat the Packers in the cold, in Lambeau, that's a massive win. That sends the Packers to 3rd in the NFC North, by the way. As I heard you guys talk about the Bears, and obviously with what the Lions did to the Commanders yesterday. By the way, that was fun to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed.
By the way, did you see who played well for the Bears yesterday, Jeff?
Oh, a couple of players played well for the Bears yesterday.
Which Gardner-Johnson?
Yeah, well, he got the game ball yesterday.
Yeah, hell of a game, guys.
Yeah, he's blitzing. What's going on with CJ?
You know what? He's one of those guys. I just feel like he can play, but can you tolerate him? And I think the Bears can.
We went to 2 Super Bowls with him. I mean, I get that the dude seems like he's a head case, but he can't be that big of a head case.
Well, if you deal with him every day, there's a much different thing. I mean, you're just seeing what the team gives you on a winning video. Just remember,
remember that. I get it. I don't give a shit though. I care more about the football field. that dude made an impact on the football field yesterday.
Well, what happens off the football field it could hamper what happens on the football field.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think the most important part is obviously what you do between the white lines.
Well, ask the Texans and the Ravens how that went.
Well,
or the Eagles.
Twice.
Well, the Eagles are. I mean, the Eagles won the Super Bowl with the guy on the field.
Yeah, but why did they move on?
Well, because they're an organization that doesn't like those type of guys. They like guys that kind of get in line, if you will. CJ's one of those guys that's out there, man. You can't control him that easily, and I think he's a wild card. And I don't think the Eagles organization likes those type of guys.
Well, I don't think they care about certain other players who are wild cards. If you hit the certain level, I think he's a good player. He's not a great player. He's a
starter in the NFL.
He will help our defense right now. I mean, I'm not saying that they made the wrong move. It's hindsight's always 2020. I get why they did it or what they did, but he would help this defense right now.
I don't know. I don't think Vic would want him back.
Yeah, I think there's a little more in there than. Go ahead,
I think
you think it's Vic or you think it's Howie?
I don't think. I don't think Vic likes freelancing players. So no, I don't think Vic drives him nuts. So I think he'd prefer to have somebody who does what he asks. And they're still getting there with Drew Makuba. What is everybody down on Drew Makuba that much? I don't know.
I think Drew Makuba has had a pretty good season, all things considered.
For a rookie second round pick, I think he's done a solid job.
I know, but here's where I think people go, because it's not about Makuba to me. You look at, we're trading for Michael Carter. Can we get Cooper DeJean to the all these different, things that we're talking about? If what the defense can do to get better in the slot, and if they need a kick or at the corner position, if they could kick Cooper out, they're not going to do it. Well, that might have been your guy right there to improve those positions. You put CJ in the slot, maybe, and kick Cooper to the outside. I know they don't want to do that, but that's your answer. Over Michael Carter.
Not in a million years would Vic Fangio play CJ Gardner-Johnson in the slot. Right, he might play him at safety. Not in a million years would he play him in the slot.
Made some plays from the slot yesterday.
Different defense, different scheme.
Yeah, I mean, Vic's the reason why he won't move Cooper is he's obsessed with the importance of that position. Like, he values it more than others do. And mainly because of the run part of it. So when he gets somebody who can hold up and run support and run fits and all that kind of stuff and do what you're supposed to do, he's going to hold on to it like grim death. That's why I don't think Cooper's moving.
I really think this offseason is one of those you can't keep everybody type of all seasons, right? And the guys you tried to keep, they obviously moved on. Like Isaiah Rodgers got a better offer somewhere else. John, maybe did he get a multi-year offer from the? I don't think he did.
Who?
Isaiah Rodgers.
No.
Yes, he did. He did.
Oh, it was multi-year? Okay. This was less number? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because we talked to him, Ed Krause and I talked to him at the Devontae Smith softball game, and we didn't really get into too much with his all-season. I know the Eagles offered him, but he never went into terms or anything like that. He said, hey, look, they did offer to bring me back. So that was like the big thing
Eagles
at the time.
Offered him 2 years and offered him basically, they don't guarantee starting spots, but they offered him sort of first shot at being the starter. So he would have been the starter. But they kind of lowballed him. Not that he got a ton of money elsewhere. By the way, he's not playing that well.
No,
take out the one game, he's not playing that well. But yes, they did offer to bring him back. They thought he was coming back. And then they said basically, we're going to test the market. And at that point, the Eagles thought he would come back to them if he got another offer. He got another offer. He didn't come back to them. There's some back and forth with that of who's telling the truth. I have no idea. There's no way. But they did offer him. As you mentioned, Isaiah's admitted that the Eagles thought he was coming back at one point, and it didn't work out. didn't work out. It's a zero-sum game, and you didn't get him. So,
Yeah.
but I
It's
don't think people would be happy with him as the outside corner. I really
I don't
don't.
think they would either. By the way, this whole thing John just said, this is where we always hear this from AJ Brown. That's the business side of it, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you can't take it personal. If they move on, if they don't move on, it's just business. That's why he said he was, he spent the trade deadline just spent with his daughter, right? It's probably a way to get away from for because you don't know. You don't know what the team is thinking. Even if you know they're not going to, you still don't know.
By the way, did you see Myles Garrett in Cleveland? He got asked about the Eagles' interest, and he said
Oh yeah.
he could have been AJ. He's like, I don't know. I just went home with my family. Said the same thing.
Doesn't it feel like the Eagles really, really want him?
Oh yeah. Well, they want. Yeah,
I mean, everybody really, really wants
that,
him. But
how he's been as obvious with that as he can be without getting fined. Same with Micah. He's obvious.
by the way, there was a play yesterday, John. I don't know how much of the Browns Jets you watched, but the little bit I got to watch of that game yesterday, it was in the second quarter. Myles Garrett just went right past the left tackle. Justin Fields never saw him coming.
Yeah,
Never.
It's a shame his career's getting wasted.
Yeah, he lines up 3-point stance way on the outside, like D gap outside, and it just goes right by. I'm like, oh my god! Like, can you imagine what he would do on an elite team?
Oh my gosh! That's why
Justin Fields is the worst quarterback I've ever seen. He's worse than JJ McCarthy.
He is, but I don't know because at least he has talent. I will say that he's got athletic gifts. Like Fields a good example. I gave Anthony Richardson. Fields is another good. Like you can see, all right, why people thought that guy was a top 10, 15 pick. What'd he go? 12, whatever he went.
And he showed it before with his athletic ability. Like you say, he's ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable athlete. So you could see how people could say, well, I can teach him how to play the position. The egomaniacs in this sport. I can teach him. Well, he processes with a sundial. Nobody can teach him, but you could see the athletic ability. JJ McCarthy, the guy looks like a 6th round pick. He should have been 199 like Tom Brady.
Yeah. My favorite JJ McCarthy moment.
What's that?
Go, Jeff.
My favorite JJ McCarthy moment was on draft night when Sean Payton was like smiling when he basically conned the Vikings and taking them so he can find a way to get Bo Nix.
Well, I'm not a Bo Nix fan either, but
no, I don't think Sean Payton really is, honestly.
But he's better. He's better than he's better.
He's definitely better than JJ. Yeah. No stupid gremlin face for JJ McCarthy this week. That's going viral on social media. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. Jeff, speaking of the offense, Eagles offense tonight. What are you expecting? They had those 2 weeks where they went more under center. No Cam Jurgens again tonight. You think it's a running game tonight? You think it's a Saquon game? Is it a Dallas Goedert game? Is it an A.J. Brown game tonight? He returns to the lineup. What do you see the Eagles offense trying to do tonight? Or what's at least the game plan in your eyes coming in?
Run the football. Honestly, like that's what I think you have to do. You run. This team is going to run. I think you're going to try to pass the ball early to set up the run, but with this weather, frigid temperatures, way to control the game early, I think you're going to try to set up the run as much as they can, and I think you're going to see a lot of the +1 with Jalen Hurts there. They got to get him running the football. I think as well as Jalen is throwing the football right now, they really got to get that element of his game kind of loose. They haven't really been able to do that much this year.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks that
I don't know.
I saw a highlight clip though posted the other day about like Jalen Hurts 22 highlight. Dude, the way he ran the ball in 22 was crazy. I mean, he was gashing teams with his.
Well, you remember what he did against the Packers in 22?
Yeah, I mean, he destroyed them with his legs. Now, I think it's fair because Jalen's not going to have longevity playing like that every year. So I think he's got better in the passing game, but I don't know if that version of him's ever going to come back, and might not be a bad.
I don't either, but I think it's if you add that tonight, and again, I'm not saying they should or they shouldn't, but if you would add that tonight. That really puts the Packers in a bit of a curveball, right? Because then you're like, okay, we can't rush him like we want to because of the fear of him running. That's where you got to have Michael Parsons kind of spy on him. I don't know, guys. To me, and look, I haven't done much previewing of this game because different job title now, or no job title, I should say. But I keep looking at this game. Doesn't it feel like the Packers need this game a lot more than the Eagles do?
Well, I think they need it from a mental standpoint because that's they lost to him twice last year. They lost him in the playoffs. This is the team they went out. To me, if you acquire Micah Parsons, you're going to get him to beat the Eagles. Now, you might see him again, and it'd be nice to get this one for both teams, but they might see each other again. It's more important to win in January if that shapes up. But from a mental perspective, I think it's much bigger for the Packers than the Eagles. I would agree with that. The Eagles, Sirianni's 3-0 against the Packers. The whole freaking, I brought this up at nobody. The insanity of this McVay tree, and it's really the Shanahan tree, but I'm boiling down to the McVay tree. So I'm McVay, LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, those guys. The Eagles own them. They're undefeated against McVay, undefeated against O'Connell. I think LaFleur, Sirianni's undefeated. LaFleur's beat them once, but Sirianni's undefeated against LaFleur. He never loses against these guys. Yet when you see all those offseason, everybody gets upset at the quarterback rankings. If you see all those offseason coaching rankings, McVay's ahead of Sirianni, way ahead.
Well, my favorite right now is the Rams are better than the Eagles. I'm sorry, did I not see week 3?
Yeah, but
to be fair, the Rams did outplay the Eagles, but the Eagles won.
See, that's what I don't like about the intricacies of football, because they're like, well, you know how improbable it is to block a kick. It still happens.
Yeah,
blame the Rams for not protecting the
It
Rams.
happens twice. Actually, you know what? When Joshua Carty's kicking, it's not as improbable.
No, it's not. And he still kicks like that. He didn't change.
Yeah, I don't even think they're playing him anymore, are they? I think they got a new kicker.
No, they got a new kicker.
They got a new kicker after that.
Yeah.
I forget who they signed, but they had a new kicker.
He's the big dude, right? They got the big, like 225-pound kicker or something. I thought I saw that.
Was that not played last night? Let me look this.
Well, I will give the Rams credit. They're playing well. They're right now.
Matthew
Stafford
is like
to me, Matthew Stafford's the MVP of the league.
I agree. He's up there.
He has taken the lead. He is the MVP of the league.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching that game yesterday, I'm like, holy crap! Is this team just firing on all? They are so dangerous with a healthy Puka and a healthy Devontae Adams. And
yeah, I will say this about the game tonight. I think there's one thing here that is just not even being talked about enough. Like, we always talk about the personalities of games. In my opinion, the Packers' best pass catcher is Jaden Reed. He's out. The second best pass catcher is Tucker Kraft.
He's out.
I would say Kraft is one.
Yeah, well, me too. But I mean, in terms of receivers, I thought Jaden Reed was the best one. He was maybe going to get back.
Jaden Reed gave the Eagles fits last year in that first game.
Banged up. Dontavian Wicks is banged up. All these guys are banged up. Matthew Golden, John just mentioned, didn't practice on Friday or Saturday, so I don't know if he's going to play tonight. He's listed as questionable. Like, they got Josh Jacobs tonight. They got Christian Watson coming off an ACL.
Christian Watson.
Yeah. I don't think they have a lot on offense.
You know what my thing is with the Packers?
They're going to move the ball that way.
I really think they want Jordan Love to be Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and he's not. He's not.
Harrison Mavis,
level.
by the way, I have to break in. Harrison Mavis, the thicker kicker, is the Rams' new kicker.
Yeah, all right. So it is the thicker kicker. I thought I saw that somewhere.
By the way, the Chargers have a good kicker. That used to be an Eagle.
Yeah.
Kicker, the kicker.
Yeah. He's great.
He was beautiful last.
He made a 59-yarder yesterday.
That Steelers-Chargers game was up.
And he banged a 55-yarder off the upright.
I opted out of the Steelers chore. I went for the Sixers last night in the back.
I did too.
Yeah, I went for the Sixers.
They
got a good win on Saturday night. Not a great win. Not a great, tough loss last night for them. But
that's a good team. People don't realize how good.
He's one of my favorite players in the NBA.
Kate Cunningham's really good. Really good.
You know my favorite part about this?
Left. Oh,
when they lost like 28 straight games, the Pistons with him. and he's just like, we're not this bad. We're not this
No,
bad.
they
He's
aren't.
just the type of dude that puts his head down, goes to work, no complaining, nothing, man. He just works his butt off. He's a
The
great
Pistons
player.
are probably the most likable team in the league because of the players they have and the leadership they have. And Cunningam's part of it. Jalen Durant's part of it. They are so fun to watch. I went to the game Saturday. I have season tickets. I didn't go to the game Sunday because of the back-to-back, but I kind of regret not seeing the Pistons.
Yeah, well, dude, that uniform. I know, John, you're not a uniform guy. That Sixer uniform with the cool that is money, man. I freaking
They
love
brought
it.
hip-hop
Which
back
one did
Saturday.
they wear? I didn't.
They wore the
the
black, the old school Allen Iverson ones, man. The black with the the older school logo with the court.
Yeah, definitely not a fan of those.
Were
They're not
you
as bad
covering
as
the Sixers then, John, when they had the black uniforms?
Yeah,
John, you're not
I
a
don't
fan
like
of those?
I like the old school Irving Sixer uniforms.
Well, those are
Oh, I love them too.
The clean look, the clean traditional look. That's what I like with the Sixers because they have this storied history, which now people don't know about because of Sam Hinkie and all the bullshit. They had this storied history. It was like the Celtics and Lakers were clearly above, and then it was the Sixers.
Yeah,
and
for a long time.
Yeah, for a very long time. And
I remember when they made the finals in 2001, and so many people were like, how is it 18 years since the Sixers made the final? They haven't made the finals since 2001.
I remember
Barkley
with one of their awful incarnation of jerseys. Barkley one time said, I think this kid made it with a crayon. He hated the one jersey.
The ones with the stars?
Probably the stupid city one. Oh my god, some of the jerseys they've been doing recently are brutal. That's why I like the black ones, the 01 black. I love that.
So one of my hot takes with the Sixers is in terms of uniforms. Everybody loves the black uniforms. I do too. But the Iverson jerseys I always wear are his rookie year ones. You know where I'm talking about, where he crossed up Jordan and all that.
Yeah. Those are great.
It was the last year before they did the redesign and go to the black uniforms.
Yeah, it was the red. It was kind of looked a little bit like the Julius.
It was like a modern throwback in the sense for the time. But I agree with John. Like when they would bring back the Irving era and they'd have Iverson then wear them, I'm like, man, I was hooked.
Yeah. I don't even mind that the Philly, the Philly ones that Wilt wore.
Yeah,
they wore them a couple times.
And Hal Greer and all that. I like those.
Yeah. The blue ones. I like them all. I mean, they're all pretty good.
Yeah. So when they came back with, it was 1920 when they did their first classic uniform. They only wore it I think 7 or 8 games. Yeah. The 76ers won the year Horford was there. And I'm like, look, I love these uniforms. I know they're a part of their history, but there's no connection to that 69-70 team like there is with this team.
Yeah. The 78. So they wore them from 78 to 81. The Irving sort of Sixers, Moses Sixers.
And then they've switched to the red ones, which they won the finals.
The 91
when they won the finals, I think, right? 83 was it?
83 was the last title. Yep.
The shooting star ones from 90, they were awful. I mean, they were.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at them now. The 94, 97 is okay. 97
Those are the ones
2007. I see. I think everybody, because that was the last great team that went to the finals. But those to me were hideous.
Well, that's what they're celebrating. They're celebrating that 2001 run, the 25th anniversary of that. They showed a lot of highlights on Saturday. Like Eric Snow was at the game. They brought hip hop back on Saturday. They played.
We're like the Cowboys of the NFL. I mean, maybe worse. No title since 83.
Oh, they're terrible.
Well, the Sixers are.
But I'll say this:
they can't get out of the second round now. It's like, please retire this era. Build around Maxey. I don't have championship expectations this year. I just want these young guys.
I just want a winning season and going back to the playwffs. Honestly,
well, they got to find some defense. So
their transition defense is bad.
The Iguodala, Jrue Holiday Sixers got back to the really good looking uniforms, and they've been
the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, they've been okay since then. They've been okay.
I do like how they use Fila again.
Yeah,
I like that. But I'll tell you what, guys. Like I felt so nostalgic on Saturday night, like just the court, and it wasn't the same court, obviously, but they did a good job with the court.
Jeff. I loved the court.
All they did was play 2000, 2001 music. It was awesome.
Wow,
that was
great.
The fun part about it.
You were in the building Saturday night?
Yeah, I was, and they brought hip hop out. and then they showed Bill Roth at halftime, the guy who played hip hop, and they gave him like a jersey and like a plaque, and they
Hip
had
hop.
him.
I love
And
hip hop.
I
I
know
was like,
people like hip hop,
Roth
but
is
you got to go
55.
AI. You got to go AI for the bell.
Oh,
ring.
AI was at the home opener. He
Oh
came
yeah,
back.
that's right. They just
I think
did.
AI is going to ring the bell the night they honor that team on January
If
31st.
I'll tell you my litmus test for all Sixers fans, and if you know this, you're a true Sixers fan.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Philly Moose. If you know
Philly
who
Moose.
Philly
Oh,
Moose,
yeah. I remember when they were picking the mascot and Philly Moose was a finalist.
Philly
Oh my
Moose, is that that sounds like it precedes my time. Philly Moose.
Philly
No, it was
Moose.
2011,
No,
2012.
yeah,
Philly Moose.
To me,
Oh,
to
yeah, I
me,
see this guy. I remember this dude.
I don't know why this is, because I remember a lot of rosters. Obviously, Zander, John, you know this. I can name you probably everybody on that 2001 Sixers roster, and I was doing that. So, like I see McCain is 20 on the bench. I'm like, oh look, it's Eric Snow. Oh look, Vernon Maxwell, Raja Bell.
yeah.
Like everybody
Raja
forgets
Bell.
Vernon Maxwell was on that team
Oh,
like at the beginning of the season.
Roger Bell showed up in the playoffs that one
Yeah,
year.
he did.
Good
He had,
pull.
All right,
he had,
game day,
he had
guys. Let
10
me
points
get
in
back
the
to the
first
Eagles
half of the
here.
Eastern Conference Finals.
We're on
Game
Sixers
7.
tangents. Let me get back to the Eagles here. Jeff,
Can I give one more shout out to
Go ahead, go ahead.
Adam Aaron was the Eagles CEO. Excuse me, Sixers CEO.
You know who he is now? You know what he does now?
Yeah, he runs
Adam Aaron.
AMC Theaters now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, he was responsible for Philly Moose. I'm sorry. But,
Adam Aaron. What an era.
anyway, all right. Yeah, back to the Eagles. I
All
apologize.
right, Jeff, real quick. Ready? How big of an impact does Jalen Phillips have tonight in Green Bay?
I'll go. I think he has an impact. I just look, if he gets 2 sacks in this game,
I'm predicting a sack. I'm predicting a sack.
I
to
think he's
Jalen
going to
Phillips.
have 4 pressures. How's that? I
That's
think
good.
he'll make an impact in the game because he's going to get the playing time. John, again, I'm not as in tune as I normally am. Nolan Smith is officially back, right?
Not officially, but he probably will be today. You get to push things off to Monday for.
Yeah,
I still have to activate him off injured reserve. But
I do think even if Phillips and Smith are limited, that's better than what they've had. I think that's going to help Jalix Hunt out. I think BG, if he plays tonight, can make a minimal impact there, especially in the run game. I'm excited to see what this pass rush could do, but again, it all depends on how the Packers tackles play out, and I gotta watch. Look, if I'll just say this, I think Phillips is going to make an impact in the limited amount of snaps he plays. I'd be shocked if he played like 40, 50 snaps tonight.
I think he's going to play a lot.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, you're at practice now, John. So you're gonna.
All right. Well, hey, I think
he's
healthy. He's healthy. He's a good player, and they brought him here for a reason. Now, I don't know about 50, but I think he's going to be well over 30. I'll say that.
That's what I think. Like the 30 to 40 range, I could see.
Well, I don't think they want him in 50. I mean, that their whole philosophy is to come at you in waves. I think they want.
Is 70% a fair amount? 70% of the snaps. Do you think that's likely?
Well, I think that's a little high. If you think about 65 plays, so if we're using that as the templates, basically, you're in the 30s for 50%. I don't think he's going to be up at 70, but again, that's the Eagles' philosophy, and they want. Nolan's going to be back. I'm pretty confident. He said he's going to play. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't play, but they do have to activate him. So he's back. Jalen's there. Brandon's back. And you still have Jalix Hunt and you still have Josh Uche. So they want to come at you in waves. They don't want one guy playing Max Crosby numbers. That's not how they play.
That's what won the Super Bowl last year. They rotated.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what they want. I saw Banner was on one show. I saw a clip. I don't know if you saw it, but I apologize. I don't remember. I just saw the clip.
Was it the Sirius XM show? I think I've heard this.
Dating back to his days, he said we always wanted 8 or 9 good defensive linemen. They have 6 or 7 right now, and they wanted to get up to 8 to 9. And I think they've done that by bringing back by bringing in Jalen Phillips and bringing back Brandon Graham. I think they've done that, and that's what they want. They want to come at you in waves, and I think that'll make them better. But yeah, the guys are getting the most reps, and I think it starts today. Are Nolan Smith and Jalen Phillips.
You know, I think it's going to have an impact on Jalen Carter.
Me too.
That's the guy I've been kind of waiting to be Jalen Carter again. Not like he's been bad or anything, but I feel like because there hasn't been that consistent pressure on the outside, that allows teams to go after him on the inside and say, okay, this guy's not going to beat us.
I look at
Now
it the
kinda
other
opens
way.
up.
I think he's helping those guys.
Well, I think, yeah, I definitely think
Well,
Jalen
I do
Carter's
too,
helping
but I'm
them,
just
yeah.
saying it is easier to go target him, and then it's going to help. Again, it's the
Well, what I'm
Not
trying
the
to say
placebo
is,
effect.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Jeff.
what I'm trying to say is, just like with the Eagles' number one goal is to block Micah. The Packers' number one goal is to block
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, and I don't think that changes at all. So I think
I don't think
just
it
look
does
at
either.
it's a chicken and egg. He's going to help. They're going to help him.
Yeah, but to Jeff's
He's going to
point,
help them.
Rashawn Gary has more sacks than Micah Parsons. I don't think anybody's saying Rashawn Gary's better, but Micah Parsons has certainly helped out Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, but my point is Jalen Carter's there, Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I got you.
Different position.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So he's the.
But you don't have to worry
impact.
about. But Jalen Phillips is a credible threat.
Oh yeah,
I like
He's a
Jalen's
very
son.
good player.
He's not a credible threat yet. He will be. But
I think Brandon Graham's a little bit of a wild card. I understand he's coming off of retirement, and we still have to see what he's like physically. But when he was healthy last year, he was playing out of merit. He was the best edge rusher on the team.
Vic was running him into the ground, and he
That's
deserved to.
So I don't look. I know he's coming off retirement. We got to see if he's physically capable. They have more edge rushers now. Maybe they don't play him very much at all, but he might still be better than Nolan Smith. I'm not sure.
No, I'm not going to go that far. But
Who was
Darius
Smith
Smith would look great on this
when
defense.
BG was healthy last year. He was better than Nolan Smith.
For early in the season, certainly not late.
When he was healthy, he got hurt late.
No. I meant I'm talking
huge
about
game against the Rams. The game he got hurt.
Yeah, the game he got hurt. He was monster.
I'm talking early in the season. He was definitely. I'm saying the way Nolan played better late in the season. The way Nolan played late in the season was better than the way Brandon played early.
Nolan stepped up too when BG got hurt.
He did. But
he played very well at the end of the season.
That's when John and I got to hear he should be on the docks.
Well, what about Jalen Hunt? I mean, is he still 3 in the rotation, Jalen Hunt?
Yeah, I think he's a good 3 if he's the 3.
He is. That's where I wonder if
I would temper my expectations with Brandon. Not Jalen, Brandon. Jalen's going to play. I think people are going to be shocked at how good he is. He's a good player.
Is good. He's always been good. And by the way, he's really good when he plays with Vic.
Yeah. I think he's a great fit. Now, yes, he's not. You'd rather have Parsons or Garrett. He's not that level, but I think this is the best pass rusher they've had, in a long time.
Are you counting Hassan Reddick in that conversation?
Well, yeah, now I got to take. You're right. I got to take Hassan out of it. Hassan was great that year.
Yeah.
He's not that good, but it's been a while before the consistency of a big time edge rusher.
I just remember going into the deadline. I'm like, okay, like Myles Garrett's not going to be a thing. As much as they want it to be a thing, it's not. I specifically looked at Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, and I'm like, look, they both shined under Fangio. Chubb was a lot older, so I'm like, if they could get Phillips, I didn't know what it was going to take, but if they can find a way to get him, that's probably the most ideal situation. Teams are after him.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I got to give Howie Roseman his flowers.
So how do we think the snaps will be tonight? I think Jalen Phillips will be number 1. Will it be Jalen Hunt number 2 because Nolan coming back? I don't know if he's going to be ready.
Yeah, I mean,
to
Nolan's a wild card because I don't know
Yeah.
how ready. Jalish is going to play a lot, but I think to me, it's not about tonight. It's about where you get, and when you get to where everybody's optimal, then to me, number 1 is probably going to be Nolan. Number 2 is Phillips. Number 3 is Hunt.
Right.
Doesn't it feel like we won't really get a clearer picture of that?
No,
Till
you're not gonna get it.
maybe the Bears game.
Yeah.
At the earliest.
You're certainly not getting a clear picture of that tonight with Nolan coming off IR and Jalen just getting here, Jalen Phillips. It won't be a clear picture tonight. So don't take tonight and assume it's going to be that way moving forward. The main guys are going to be Nolan Smith and Jalen Phillips if they're healthy. That's pretty clear. And that's good for Jalen Hunt because he's a little bit, skipping steps, I always say. He's fine. That he fits in perfectly as the number 3 guy. I think that's the role he should have, and that's the role he will now have, and that's good. And then Josh will be the 4th. Josh Uche has quietly played very well.
Yeah,
I love the way Josh Uche has done everything I thought he would do this year for this team, and that's not a bad thing.
Well,
I think he's done more because I didn't expect him to play this well.
Well, no, I thought he'd be a good player for that.
I thought he was going to be the
I'm
best
just like, don't rely on him to be
signing.
your top sack guy. That's how I looked at it. I'm like, look, and I just went based on what players were telling me that Josh Uche is a good player.
Yeah,
he is a good player.
Lane spoke very highly of him because he got beat he never stops talking about that time he got beat by Josh.
I had someone in the Chiefs organization, a high-ranking official in the Chiefs organization, by the way, tell me this last year about Josh Uche. Josh Uche is a very good player. He just did not fit what we wanted to do. He'll work out well in Philadelphia. They knew that.
Well, remember, guys, the leading sack guy in the edge rushing room is still, to this day, Zadarius Smith on the Eagles. I know. It's not everything. I understand. I'm just saying.
They did look a lot better against the Giants, but then again, if you want to get your season right, you play the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Uche's got, 1 sack? Jalen Hunt has 1 sack. Patrick Johnson has 1 sack. Zadarius Smith has 1.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart had the Bears on the ropes, but he got concussed.
Yeah.
And Brian Dable did not follow him into the tunnel.
Yeah.
Or the tent.
Nothing you can do at that point.
I was joking yesterday. I watched some of the games with my dad. I went over to my dad's and, we watched the game. When the Giants kicked the field goal from the 1, I'm like, oh, I hope the Bears win.
Yeah.
I really do. What a loser move by a loser coach.
By the way, and that's another thing, because I agree. Brian Daboll should go. I don't like to advocate it, but he's got to go. And now you're starting over again with a young quarterback, and the new coach probably doesn't like it's just a shit show. It's always a shit show.
Yeah. 5-22 in their last 20. So if the Giants want a silver lining here, I know Mike Vrabel's not available anymore, but the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo for an abomination his first year with Drake May, and it worked out pretty well for the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get the right guy.
You got to get the right guy. Guys, Jahad Campbell, Nakobe Dean. Who gets more snaps tonight? How do you see that looking?
Nakobe.
I think so too, Jeff.
I don't know about that. But first of all, I it's interesting. The Packers losing Kraft. How are they going to play? Number 1, I assume
they still have Musgrave. As far as I know, he's not hurt.
Yeah, Musgrave's going to play, but they lost their 3rd tight end because they had to put him on waivers a couple weeks ago. I forget who claimed him. So they have some issues at backup tight end. So I don't know how much 12 and 13 they could play without Kraft.
And they're more of a 12 or 13 team. They're not like
they've morphed into that because of Kraft and how good Musgrave is. They played it more. So you would think they'd go back to more 11, but the problem there is all their receivers
everybody's hurt.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to see, but I think it's going to be as simple as Nakobe in the base and Jihad in the nickel. So if they force the Eagles in the nickel more, I think Jihad's going to play more.
Yes. The Eagles are getting the Packers at the right time right now.
Yeah.
It's all about timing.
It's been a hell of a run from a health perspective. They're always the healthier team. Always.
You're going to have a great game on Sunday, John.
Yeah, the Lions, man. Oof. But by the way, I don't agree with Dan Campbell taking over play calling. What
Yeah,
I don't like
I
that
was
either.
going to ask you about that.
What did Johnny Morton do wrong? And then he
Nothing.
goes out there and they play like they played. I'm like, well, I guess you
The
can't.
Commanders stink. It shouldn't matter. I tweeted that yesterday. The Lions did not need to change play calling to beat the Commanders.
Well, I agree with that.
Put up, what,
but,
44 yesterday, I think?
yeah.
They put up 44. Oh, by the way,
Gibbs,
that game was
Gibbs
fun to watch.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean that in my opinion, that's how you beat the Lions. You got to take Gibbs out of the game. If you stop Gibbs, I think Jared Goff's set.
Like
All
Amon-Ra's
right.
going to get his. Who
Boy,
else?
what a
Jameson
good-
Williams is a big play guy. Like,
What a good
but
receiver.
that's the guy.
What a
Yeah,
good
I'm an
receiver.
honest. He's a perfect fit with Jared Goff, man. He gets to the zones and
But I
Jared
mean-
Goff delivers the football.
And he only touched it 15 times. But you see, here's the problem. Like the week prior. So I want to give you my spot theory. Like they played a terrible game against Minnesota, and Minnesota did a great job of forcing Gibbs to pass block. He can't pass block to save his life. I evidently Dan Campbell was very angry that Johnny Morton couldn't adjust to that and find ways to get him out where he can impact the game as he did against Washington. But to my whole spot point, and this translates to the Eagles Packers. The Packers are coming off a very poor game. I don't like that spot. Similar to Detroit coming off a shitty game, what do? They go in there and just dominate.
Panic. Yeah.
They just
they panicked at the play calling, but yeah.
Well, they panicked, but they dominated on the field. Yeah, I didn't agree with changing the play caller, but they dominated on the field. Generally good teams. And I don't know if there's any great teams in the NFL. But the good teams, and Detroit and Green Bay are in that category, and so are the Eagles. But the good teams, if they have a bad game, they generally come back and play pretty well. Doesn't mean you can't win the game, but they're not going to play poorly. This happened to the Eagles after the first Giants game. They got embarrassed. They came back. They played well. Happens all the time.
This is where I think Detroit, the lights are coming on for them because I think they knew after that Washington game, it's like, okay, we got the Eagles coming up. We got Green Bay coming up on Thanksgiving. It's time. It's time to get in gear right now. This is our season. And give credit to them. Look, I think that was the best they played all year yesterday.
I thought the Sewell went down at one point. I'm like, man, the Eagles are good.
Frankie Louvu made a business decision against him on that touchdown, by the way.
Yeah,
did you see how he avoided him? I think Sewell wanted to kill him.
He's not the first, man.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that make business decisions.
I like when someone responded to me, yeah, he couldn't hip drop him. I said, that's true.
There's a lot of people. I know Eagles fans hate Frankie Louvu, but there's a lot of people that make business decisions when they say.
By the way, the Commanders are punks. That team is so unlikable. They are punks. They talk a big game.
Who cares about the Commanders? I love Eagles fans. No offense, Jeff, but who cares about the Commanders? Like, why are they punks? Why?
Yeah,
they're
it's just the way the whole watching Amon-Ra St. Brown because you're getting your teeth knocked in. They always act like they're like they and look, I love Dan Quinn. They take that mentality, but when someone
Frankie Louvu's a dirty player. Don't get me wrong, but that's one guy. Like, is Jaden Daniels a bad guy? Is Terry McLaurin a bad guy?
No, they have good guys on their team. I'm just saying that they acted like they were ready to take over this. This team acted like they were ready to take over the conference this year. And everybody that had a brain told you that wasn't going to happen.
Well, I don't. Come on.
John had them winning the East.
Well, that was. I was betting on history.
Well, whatever you were betting on, you had them winning the East, and they have not looked good.
I said 6 straight games they won at the buzzer when they were trailing. That's not sustainable.
My point is, if you guys are so all-knowing and you knew all this beforehand, why do you give a shit about the Commanders?
I knew they weren't going to be good. I knew that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Give a shit about them? Like, they're in our division. We're gonna talk about it even when they suck.
No, the visceral hatred of they're a dirty team. They're this, they're that. They're a football team that is having a bad year. their quarterback has been hurt. They're a football team. They're having a terrible year.
I mean, they're a division rival. They're a team that we played in the conference championship last year. I mean, come on. There's now fun talking points between the Eagles and the Commanders. The Commanders fans, I know you don't care about this, but they've been chirping all year. We got the best quarterback.
Well, that's
we
true.
got this.
I don't care about
they
what
look
I'm
like
saying.
dog shit.
You guys, you guys, as members of the media, shouldn't give a shit what Commanders fans are chirping about.
I don't.
That's kind of my fault.
I care about the product on the field. They suck. They had one good year in 20 years,
and that's a fair.
Say they were the best team in the NFC.
What is
They're
that?
not.
What does that mean? Everybody. What does that mean? Everybody.
What do you mean? People had Jalen Daniels as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL after one fucking good year. One year.
A bunch of people. You don't think he's going to be a good player long term?
Daniels is a great player.
He's going to be a good player. I think people put the cart. People jump the gun on him way too quick. And I've always questioned being 180 pounds.
I don't like this. I don't like this. It's the same thing when everybody says Philly media. You always see me bounce back. Like, I don't meet with Berman and McLean and Kerr and everybody else to come up with narratives. Everybody's got their own fucking opinion. I don't like this. Everybody. I don't like this. All people. All that. You're talking about a bunch of Commanders fans chirping about a team. They haven't been good. They haven't been good for 2 decades. So yeah, they were excited about having a good team for once.
Yeah, and now I'm saying that they're not as good as you thought they were going to be. Fair. If you don't want me to talk about everybody, you thought they were going to be better.
Yeah, I thought they were going to.
Again,
I also said
relevance to the Washington Commanders as a commentator of the game. That's what I'm analyzing. I cover the Eagles.
That's not what you were analyzing. I also said in the NFC Championship game, they were not ready for that game.
I agree with John on that 100%.
The Eagles were going to blow that team out. I got that one right.
Okay, that was last year.
John, you and I were talking about that Wednesday that week. We're like, man, the Eagles are going to kill this team.
Yeah,
they got ready.
They got lucky with Detroit's all their injuries, and everybody was, and they were skipping steps. Now in the offseason, the Eagles lost a ton of players. I picked the Eagles to win 11 games. It's not. I even said Washington not going to win 13 games, whatever they won, but they're probably going to win the division. Probably going to win it with a tiebreaker. Yeah, I was wrong. Their season went off the rails. Shitty. They got Marcus Mariota playing. Yeah, they stink. That happens in the NFL.
I think they're down. The Commanders' downfall was they were the oldest team in the NFL, and I think they relied on too many guys having too many really good years.
I said, Debo. I hated the Debo Samuel.
Oh, I did too. You and I talked about that all offseason.
I didn't get the moving on, but it turned out neither could play. I didn't understand the Kinlaw thing and getting rid of Jonathan Allen, who's a franchise.
He's a good player. Deron Payne still is a good player.
He's not having a good season.
Yeah.
So the age part, that was a big part of it. And obviously it's fallen off the rails, but I just don't like the everybody and absolute. Yeah, blame me. I picked them to win the division. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. But I don't like this. Everybody said this. Everybody said that. It's not true.
Well, do you not agree that there's certain narratives that do exist at large in the NFL?
Yeah, a narrative that Jane Daniels is going to be a star quarterback is certainly there in this league. And I think all of us who are in that camp are pretty confident with that still. Like, if you tell me the narrative is, I say it all
I don't think he sucks. I just don't think he's going to hold up. He's 180 pounds soaking wet, and he plays dual threat. He can't play like that, dude.
Well,
his offensive line does not help him either.
I agree.
Offensive line,
that's a part of it.
I was not as moved with the Laramie Tunzel move as everybody was. I thought they gave up way too much for him.
Same.
But that's what it costs for a premium tackle now.
Yeah. Well, he's better than what they had.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, Sam Cosby getting hurt didn't help either.
But their defense has fallen apart. That to me is the most disturbing part because Dan Quinn is a defensive guy. And the fact that they can't now, Detroit's a little bit different because when they're clicking on all cylinders, they can make anybody look silly.
You know what trade looks like a disaster? Marcus Lattimore.
Oh yeah, it was a disaster.
He's bad. He's bad.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Marshawn. Yeah, and it's the
yeah.
same thing with Jair Alexander here. You know, this game moves quickly. To your point about age, yeah, you never know when people are going to fall off. I mean, if Jair Alexander, this is what I tried to warn Eagles fans about. If this were 2020 Jair Alexander, you're not getting him for a 6th-round pick.
You might have to trade first to get him.
Yeah.
Maybe multiple for it would have been what the Colts got traded to get Sauce Gardner.
Yeah. By the way, Sauce gave up a big time, but he's a good player.
Yeah,
But
it's also his first game. He just got there like 5 days ago.
But
all right, if you redrafted 24 quarterbacks, would you take Drake May or Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels.
I'm taking Drake May all fucking day.
I like both. Can I take both?
No, I'm taking Drake May.
I was on that from day one. I'm not coming off it.
I'm fine with you sticking on it, but I'm taking Drake May all day.
I feel vindicated this year in saying Drake May was a good quarterback last year.
If you want to bring up can he hold up as a dual threat quarterback, I'm just evaluating the talent.
Yeah, well, I never pushed back on the talent evaluation. He's obviously an extremely talented player.
Anybody can get hurt. You know.
I really do think the issue with the Commanders was, and again, this is because I think Jaden Daniels is really good. I think people thought Jaden Daniels was going to will that team to 12 wins again, like he did last year. I'm like, no, this team is old. Their offensive line is banged up. Their defense will not be as good as, and the schedule's tougher. And turned out all this happened. Oh, and Jaden Daniels got hurt, so that really put a wrench in everything.
Jeff, you got to get off the fence. Drake May or Jaden Daniels?
I like both. I just
no, that's not a valid answer. You got the number 1 overall pick. Who you taking?
I got number 1 overall pick in football. Who am I taking?
No.
It ain't them.
Redraft in the 2024 draft. That's it. You could go Caleb if you want to stick with Caleb. I'm not going Caleb.
Caleb's not bad. He's
not
bad,
bad.
but he's not bad.
Third in my eyes in that group.
I think the Bears got a pretty good quarterback too, but
yeah, he's just a little streaky for me. But we'll see.
He is, but he's also learning in Ben Johnson's system.
Yeah, I don't think Ben likes him.
Me neither.
I don't think he does either. But
Ben wants a tiny guy.
Look, talent-wise, there's no way to poke holes.
Okay, Zander, you want me to give an answer?
Yes.
I said going into the draft that year, Jaden Daniels should be the number 1 pick. So I guess I got to go with Jaden Daniels.
All right.
And Drake May, I said, it depends where he goes, but I really like him. Well, he went to the Patriots, and I'm like, okay. And then he played really well with a bad football team, and the rest is history.
Yeah, he showed some flashes last year, though.
Honestly, I if I was redrafting, I'd still take Jaden number 1. I'd take Drake number 2, and I take Caleb number 3.
That's what I would do.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. I think that's the correct evaluation. Also, I think the Patriots won.
JJ McCarthy in round 6 with in round 6 with
I'm going to say this. I think the Patriots
he wasn't
won.
in that draft, but
the Patriots won this offseason when they fired Gerard.
Oh yeah, he was. That was Nixon. Yeah, that was Nixon
and Penix and Nix. Yep, that was that draft.
I don't like any of those guys, by the way. But I would take, if we were redrafting those 3, I'd take Penix first, Nick second, JJ 50th.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. No doubt.
I just don't think he can play.
All right, Jeff, before you get out of here, I need a score prediction for Eagles Packers tonight. Monday Night Football under the lights in Green Bay, 20-degree weather. I love it. Football has arrived in November, my friend. What do you got tonight?
24-20 Eagles. Ooh, I'm going to say the Eagles pull this one out.
24-20 Philly. I'm going to write that down for Kerr. All right. I like it. Good stuff, Jeff. Any other final key to the game that you like that you're watching tonight when that game clicks on? Any focus that you want to share with the people?
I mean, I think we kind of talked about it. The impact Jalen Phillips will have against the Packers tackles, who are kind of banged up right now. But everybody's banged up this time of year. It is November. We are in week 10. We're in double-digit weeks now.
What do you think about the Darian Kennard good luck charm?
I love that good luck charm, how he wins a Super Bowl every year. And that's why the Packers think they're going to win the Super Bowl. They got him.
Yeah.
What is he, 3 for 3 now, John?
For all the superstition. No, 2 for he won in Kansas City and he won.
He won the first 2 in Kansas City, and
did he win
the
2 in Kansas City?
Yes.
Yeah. So he is 3 for 3. Then.
I actually joked about him about that at the Super Bowl last year. He goes, "Oh yeah, now we're gonna win the game." And we laugh.
That's awesome, by the way. For all
It
the
is. He's got 3 rings.
for all the ring people. Darian Kennard's got 3 rings.
He's got 3 rings in 3 rings in 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, and he's playing the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah. Lucky
Somehow,
guy.
he's played in all of
Good
them
dude, too, man. Good dude.
I like Darian. It's a shame he's not here, but
yeah, he's playing well too. He was
he
forced in
is.
because Zach Tom was hurt for a while, and he had to play a little bit. And he's played. He played pretty well.
Was it you I was standing with, or was it the Checo when we were trying to pull the whole Darian Kennard might be better than Tyler Steen?
That was not me.
It might have been Andrew.
I wasn't. Like Andrew used to think. Andrew and I usually think same because he's a good football guy. But I thought Mackay was clearly better than Tyler. Like he was on.
Oh yeah,
Tyler
we pointed that one out early.
Yeah, I was like, no. I mean, Mackay played well last year. So I didn't go
the Chargers had Mackay as Mackay.
But Tyler's played pretty well this year. Tyler Steen's played pretty well.
Yeah, he has. Like Tyler Steen's not a bad player at all. It's just I really like Kennard, and it wasn't anything against Steen. I'm like, hey, Kennard can play some football if he gets the opportunity. He got one.
Yeah, all he does is win. He's got 3 rings, Hall of Famer,
and he has a good shot 4.
He's got a shot.
Jeff, we appreciate you doing it. 24-20. You got the Birds winning tonight. Enjoy the game, my friend.
And do you guys need me tomorrow to vent frustrations?
Yeah. Should we bring Jeff back? Yeah.
I'm usually the post game guy here.
I know that's very true. We normally do get you post game. All right, Jeff. We'll keep you posted on that. Maybe we'll tap back into you tomorrow. All right, man.
Yeah. Also, by the way, before I go, get ready, guys. We don't have a 1:00 game until week 15.
I know.
And then you got a Saturday game, and then you got Sunday 4:25.
We do have a 3:00.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Black Friday. Not an ideal day.
Yeah, John's going to be all excited for the post game show on a holiday.
I won't mind 3:00 at all. Well, yeah, I prefer 1 always, but 3's not bad. I'll take it.
Actually, 3 isn't bad because you don't have to get up super early. You don't have to be there super early. You're not going to be there super late.
No,
it's actually kind of nice.
That's a home game, right? Yeah, that's a home game.
That is a home game.
All right, Jeff. Good stuff, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right, brother.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Joining us right here on Birds 365. Great stuff from Jeff Kerr. Good little score prediction there. 24-20. John, a lot of good stuff to talk about in this game. Before we get back into some of the we have about 35 minutes left to go here on Birds 365, a Monday edition with a night game, a Monday night football game tonight, 8:15 Eastern kickoff. That is late. If you're on the West Coast, I think my boy Dank is out on the West Coast, so that's nice. 5:15 kickoff for Dank tonight. John, what's your concern level long-term on Cam Jurgens?
I will let you know later today when he is either placed on injured reserve or not to make room for people. If he's placed on injured reserve, my concern level will grow greatly. If he's not, I won't be that concerned at all. That means he'll be back by probably, probably the Chicago game. So it's Detroit and then Chicago, right?
Detroit, Chicago, then Cowboys. Then
the Cowboys are in between. Right? I got to look at the schedule.
I don't know. Wednesday.
So Detroit is after tonight. It's Detroit. Then I think it's the Cowboys. Then
yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, I'm thinking it was ended. Yep. It's
so
Cowboys,
it would be the Cowboys,
Bears, Chargers, Raiders. Then you have the last 3: Commanders, Bills, Commanders.
If they don't place him on injured reserve, that means he should be back by the Cowboys game at the latest.
Yeah, because or else they would have just IR'd him for 4 weeks.
Exactly.
Right.
Now you can make a mistake and think somebody will be back in 4 weeks and it turns into 5 weeks, but still, it's not that concerning. But if they place him on injured reserve, obviously it becomes a much bigger deal, and just a wait and see mode with Cam Jurgens. But did not see him at all this week. Saw him, and remember, they're coming off a bye, so in theory, he would have had an opportunity to get better. Interestingly, leading up to the Giants game, I did see him a few times. Didn't want to talk because he was hurt. But I saw him, and he seemed to be moving pretty well. But I didn't see him at all this week, leading up to this game, which is now last
moving
week.
is one thing, you know. Being the center on the offensive line.
Well, no, yeah, I mean that's I'm just looking at the guy visually, and he's moving. There's no, you have a knee injury, and there's no noticeable limp or anything like that. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Which typically there would be, if it were serious, but you know, yeah, even Dr. Chow can't make that diagnosis from watching somebody walk through the locker room.
Yeah. John, we talked about it a little bit with Jeff Kerr, but obviously kind of a revamped defense, you know, not to the level that I think some people are talking about, but you're bringing 3 new names and people are like, oh, look at all the reinforcements. I think Jalen's obviously the most impactful and meaningful one, and it drops off significantly after that. But like Michael Carter coming into the game tonight, no Jair Alexander. He's not even traveling with the team out to Green Bay. So he's back in Philly. What kind of impact do you think maybe Michael Carter has on this game? And how do you think maybe the defense looks coming out of the bye week? Do you think they change some things? Do you think there's different personnel looks? What are you kind of seeing there with what Vic might do or change coming off the bye week going up against the Packers tonight?
Vic ain't changing shit from a scheme perspective.
No, scheme, I know. I mean personnel.
Michael will be the dime back. I don't know how much they'll be in dime, but he'll have a very limited role. And you know, he's got to get up to speed, but he's healthy, so he'll be active and he'll play. Be the backup slot if God forbid anything happens to Cooper, and he'll be a backup safety as well. That's how they see him and envision him, sort of a Avonte Maddox-ish, which how he brought that word up as I brought that name up. That's how they see him. That's how they view him. That's his role. And it's pretty clearly defined role. But yeah, it's not going to be huge by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. Obviously, again, Jair, for those who didn't listen earlier, he's about later in the season. They're trying to get him as healthy as possible, if they can get him as healthy as possible, and hope by that point, you know, maybe lightning can strike and he can turn into at least closer to what he was in 2022, his last big season. Unlikely, but you know, that's what a dart throw is. I think Eagles fans should cross their fingers that Kaylee Ringo turns into a good player. I think that's the best case scenario. I think he played well. He played his best game before the bye against the Giants. He'll get another opportunity tonight. But I think the leash will be short because he has been so inconsistent. And he needs to just get more consistent. And we'll see if he can do it. Adoree Jackson's going to be interesting because I think, you know, long term, I don't see why you need both Adoree Jackson and Jair Alexander because both don't play special teams at all. And if you're going to be a backup corner, you got to play special teams. Ultimately, they may say, well, we can pull from, you know, the linebacker group, or we can pull from here and get it done from Michael Clay and keep them both. But to me, it seems redundant long term. Maybe it's as simple as, you know, McWilliams comes up with a sprained ankle in practice and he goes to injured reserve. You got Jacorian Bennett. I mean, they got to make a decision on him soon. I got to look that up.
He was questionable, right? So I don't know if, you know.
Yeah, well, he's not active. He's still on injured reserve. He's on his 21-day practice window.
Right. So now they could, in theory, though, they could activate him and make him, and like right away, right?
And that's what, but he's the deepest one. They have 3 players where they've opened their practice window: Jacorian, Willie Lampkin and Nolan Smith. But Jacorian's he's the deepest into that 21 days. And that's what I'm trying to look at. When exactly the day was that they started his practice window. So I'm trying to do that on the fly here. But they have to make a decision on him pretty quickly. And it was October 22nd when they started his 21-day practice window. So that's 9 days in the rest of October, which means you got 12 more. So they have basically until right after this game where they got to either activate him, put him on the 53, or he's got to go back to injured reserve for the rest of the season, and then you can't activate him. So they have to make that decision soon, and you would think it would be today if they want to use him. So that's something to keep an eye on later this afternoon.
Yep, good stuff. Good stuff there, John. Plenty of stuff here, to talk about with this game. We looked at a lot of it. I want to look at Micah Parsons here coming into this game. He's obviously the catalyst, and this isn't a Packers team that's been really good against the run. I know people say Mike is the guy you run at, and I do agree that's the best way, but they're overall still a very good run defense. I want to point you to what Micah can do, though. High leverage situations. There was, and I'm going to credit Jimmy Kemsky for highlighting this sequence. 3 high leverage plays, versus the Cardinals in week 7. 3rd and goal from the 8, Parsons sack. 3rd and goal from the 10, Parsons sack. 1st and 10, Green Bay 26. Parsons sack, loss of 9, eventual turnover on downs in the Cardinals' final drive of the game. Those are 3 high leverage situations, and that's when Micah seems to really show up. I forget the game it was where he chased somebody down in overtime from behind. Was that did they play the Rams? No, who did they play in that game? Forget who they played. But anyway, he shows up in major, big leverage situations. He's obviously changed the complexion of that defense. Already 6.5 sacks, 14 quarterback hits this year. He's a beast, John. How do you expect the Eagles to game plan for him tonight?
Well, I always tell the story, and very few players, and the only 2 I know of are the 2 we're constantly talking about, Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons, where they actually name protections after the players. And the Eagles have a Parkins protection plan always when they play him. And their mentality has always been, to your point about, the lesser of 2 evils. If you can't block them, read them, try to put them in conflict. So maybe you see a little bit more RPO today to try to impact him, try to slow him down a little bit. Part of the problem, I've been talking about that spot dating back, it seems 2 weeks now because it's been so long. I don't like the spot. Again, good teams tend to bounce back after bad performances. Good players, I brought up Jahmyr Gibbs, tend to bounce back after poor performances. Well, Micah had a rare poor performance against Carolina. Individually. So to give you
Carolina ran the ball well, in that game.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle has been great for them, by the way.
Yes, he has.
But they played a bad game yesterday. Carolina,
crazy
league,
Saints, right? Like 7
crazy league. So Parsons entered week 9 with an NFL best 44 pressure rate of 19.7%. That's the 3rd highest in the NFL amongst edge rushers. Against the Panthers, he had 0 pressures for the first time in his NFL career. 0. First time in his entire career. That concerns me. Just to the point of Gibbs. Maybe had his worst game as a pro 2 weeks ago, and he shows up looking like a monster. And the Lions bounce back. That concerns me. The spot concerns me. He's coming off a bad game. And that generally doesn't happen twice in a row.
Yeah,
For
I mean, he does
really,
have an uphill
really.
battle though with the Eagles tackles, obviously being what they are. Two very good tackles.
Yeah, well, I would say they have an uphill battle as well.
Well, I'm not
I
saying they
think
don't.
it's
Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
saying they don't.
it's and Lane is Lane and Jordan is Jordan, and they're great, great, great players. But
This is
they're
iron on iron, John. These
yeah,
are all
they
great
they
players.
they would be the first to tell you this will be their toughest test of the season because they're not playing Miles.
The Wood in the chat says bullshit. Lane Johnson owns Micah Parsons. Go look
Oh,
at the
yeah.
effing stats.
Yeah. Okay, it's a bunch of Eagles fans in the chat.
Yeah, it is.
I've talked to Lane about Micah. I know very intently what he feels about Micah Parsons, and it's not disrespectful. I'll say it that way.
No, he's a very good player. No doubt about it. Good stuff, John. We got plenty of super chats we're going to get to here in a little bit. John, are you ready to give me your score prediction on the game, Eagles-Packers?
Well, I'm already pissing people off, so I'm going to piss them off even more. I don't like it. I don't like the spot. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just explained why partially. I think it's going to be a close game, so it could come down, obviously, to one turnover back and forth. On the road, if the game is here, I'd pick the Eagles, but I'm picking the Packers there.
Okay.
And I'm going to go the opposite of Jeff Kerr. I'm going to go 24-20 Packers. Did he say 24-20?
Yes, he said 24-20.
I'm going to go 24-20 Packers. I'm a noted Packers fan.
You are. You're a fan of apparently every team in the NFC
But by the way, the Packers, for all their shit, I love you, Eagles fans. I do, even though I needle you sometimes. I love you to death. But, the Packers have the 8th ranked offense in the NFL. The Packers have the 5th ranked defense in the NFL. Like, they're good. The Eagles have the 24th ranked offense, the 23rd ranked defense. And the Eagles are good. The Eagles are a unique team. I say it all the time.
Yeah, they are.
But I mean, this is a really good team, a really well-rounded team. And I do give the Eagles the advantage, the Sirianni advantage, which no Eagles fan will give because they think he stinks. But he doesn't lose to these guys.
Yeah, I don't think he stinks.
He doesn't lose to McVay. He doesn't lose to LaFleur. He doesn't lose to O'Connell. So that's why I hesitated. But I just don't like the spot. If Green Bay beat Carolina, I'd probably pick the Eagles. I do not like the spot.
I got 30-20 Birds.
Woo. Easy.
I think the Birds win by 10.
Easy peasy. They're going to score 30 points against that team.
I think they're going to score 30 points. I think the Green Bay offense, 20 might be high because in the 2 games that they've lost, I think they had 13 points and 10 points. So while they have been very good at times, they can also be pretty big bust. And no Tucker Kraft, no Jaden Reed. They're relying on Christian Watson more. Wicks and all those guys are banged up. Savion Williams. I mean, some of these names, it's like, who are we even talking about here? And if they can take away Josh Jacobs or at least mitigate him, I think the Packers are going to have a really hard time moving the football tonight.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my point. Yeah, they played extremely poorly against the Panthers. No argument. That's part of my concern.
Bounce back. I don't think they have the personnel to bounce back offensively. Defensively, you might be right. 30 might be lofty for the Eagles, but I think the Eagles are going to win this game by 10 plus.
All right, we'll see. Well,
Yeah.
that's hefty, man. I could see I could see a close game on the road against a very, and I don't know if Golden's going to play. He doesn't even play that much, to be honest.
I think that's my biggest margin of win, a margin that I predicted this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now I think Tom is going to. They have a very good offensive line, very good running back. He's playing well despite their yards per carry. Kraft is a big injury that I'm concerned about. Musgrave is very good backup tight end, though. I will say that. They have the good luck charm. Romeo Dobbs is their best receiver
Right
by
now.
by a
Yeah.
wide margin with his goofy. He wears the goofy helmet thing,
Yeah.
the bubble wrap, as Kelsey would call it. But he's a very good player. I'm not a Christian Watson fan, but you got to respect him. Got to respect him because he will run the fuck by you.
Yeah.
And yeah, the quarterback is a little bit too inconsistent for me, but he's also wildly talented.
He is, but Vic has beat him up, man.
Yeah.
Last 2 games
like I
last
said,
year.
this is all about the spot for me. I do not like the spot.
I know, but yeah, I understand what you're saying with the spot. I'm not discounting that as it means nothing. I hear what you're saying where, sometimes there's a regression or in this case, a elevation to the mean, but I don't like that. That offense is beat up, dude. Jordan Love has really been relying on Tucker Kraft in a lot of these games where they've had offensive outbursts. Now they got no Tucker Kraft. I mean, if the Eagles can stop the run tonight, I think the Packers are going to really struggle moving the ball. I really do.
It's possible. Anything's possible in this goofy ass league. But I know the Eagles, again, we don't have to say the names. Devontae, Dallas, AJ, Saquon, yada, 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 yada. They're all healthy and they don't move the football consistently.
That's true.
I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean,
Yeah, but as you pointed out, they're a weird team, man. They won the Super Bowl last year as the 30th or 31st ranked passing offense in football. I never thought that would happen. It did.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that
Sirianni perfect off of bye weeks in his career.
Yeah, and they've never lost to an NFC North team in the Sirianni era. A lot of things trend in the, but with those Sirianni stats, and to his credit, by the way, he immediately deflects to, show me a good coach, I'll show you a bunch of good players. So he's not, an egomaniac like some of these guys are. Who understands, like, if he didn't have the talent he had, he wouldn't be 9-0 against the NFC North. He wouldn't be 3-0 against the Packers. He wouldn't be 4-0 after a bye. All his numbers are phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a good team. He'll be the first to tell you that. But I agree with you. I think Nick deserves more credit. I'm with you.
All his numbers are phenomenal. So there's a lot of numbers that will trend the Eagles' way because nobody has won more than they have over the past few seasons. So everything trends in a positive direction there. It bothers me though that with all this talent, that this team struggles so much on offense.
It bothers me.
Defensively, I expected this. Ups and downs because they lost so much,
right?
Coming off the Super Bowl, I expected this sort of season, and I think it's been better, to be honest, than I expected. The offense bothers me, and like I said, I caught Devontae admitting the identity, which I not think I know does not make everyone happy, but they keep winning for the most part. Had a little hiccup this year, but
yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you're.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Eagles won this game. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, I know that. I think I think what you're saying about the offense is pretty fair. I think most people who are honest, or at least try to be honest, or at least pursue truth to some degree, want to see a little more out of the offense. I mean, you got all these great players. You got some of the best players, maybe we've ever had in franchise history at the wide receiver position. One of the best running backs we've had in a long time. I think people want to see more. I think that's fair, but they do find ways to win games. And to me, this is more about the Packers offense. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball. I know we haven't had a great time in stopping. Most teams have been able to move the ball on us this year, but
I do think I am interested to see how impactful Jalen Phillips could be, and it might take a while.
In my opinion, if you pressure Jordan Love tonight, you're getting a turnover or maybe more.
Well, he hasn't turned it over this year.
I know he hasn't, but he,
I mean,
He's susceptible.
he had a horrible throw.
What's he got this year? Three picks?
3 picks.
Any fumbles or anything?
I don't have his fumbles in front of me. I'm sure he's fumbled. I mean, he's a quarterback. I'm sure he has. He's got 3 fumbles, 1 loss. He's got 4 total turnovers. This is not bad. I mean, in a non-Eagles world, that's pretty damn good. The Eagles don't turn the football over at all. Jalen's got 1 interception. He's got the exact same numbers fumble-wise, 3 fumbles, 1 lost. So he's got 2 turnovers. Jordan Love's got 4. Jordan Love's thrown it 250 times, so he's thrown it a little bit more with those 3 interceptions. Jalen's at 215 with his 1. Obviously, Jalen runs it more. Jordan he's athletic, but he's not really a runner. He looks to extend plays more than run the football, but he can hurt you occasionally with this athleticism. He's a good player. And I think that's a positive for them because he was a little bit too reckless for me, and he seems to have cured that this year.
Yeah,
at least so far. But yeah, maybe it defaults. Maybe he goes back to his default setting because he wants to push the football down the field. There's no doubt about that. Like, this ain't the Eagles. They're not going to be risk adverse to a fault. They're gonna push the ball down the field. 9.1 yards per attempt against man coverage this season. That's second highest in the NFL. Jordan Love. He's trying to get the ball down the field. So that makes you susceptible.
Yeah.
To more.
What do you think, John, of their offensive line? Because I think that's where a lot of my prediction is coming in. They have, I think, Rasheed Walker's their left tackle. They've had Aaron Banks in there, and now he was injured. I think he had a stinger, and then Sean Rheon filled in at left guard. I don't know if Banks is – I think he's healthy, so I think Banks will be back out there this week. Elton Jenkins is their center. He's a guy that has switched between guard and center. At right guard, they had, I think, Sean Rheon started the year, and then he was replaced with Jordan Morgan, who I think they
Jordan Morgan, yeah,
2024, a first-round pick. And then they have Zach Tom, who has turned into one of the best right tackles in football. A little banged up, but I'm assuming he goes. He is still on the injury report. I kind of feel like that interior with Banks and Jenkins and Morgan, or whether Rheon's in there, maybe Sean Rheon or Ryan, however you say that. I think you can get a lot of pressure up the middle here, and those tackles are going to be occupied with the reinforcements at edge. It's not just Jalen Phillips. I mean, if you get Nolan Smith back, you get Brandon Graham. There's a lot more bodies to go around at that position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but I assume they're going to force the Eagles to prove that. I think they're going to game plan for Jalen Carter, as everybody does with the Eagles. Right. It's one of the better. It's a top 5 offensive line when they're healthy. I hesitate to compare anybody with the Eagles offensive line. So I always go on that, but they're very good up front. Zach Tom's the best player to have. I'm not in love with Rasheed Walker, as you pointed out, but he's not terrible.
No, he's definitely not terrible, but I think he had to win that job in camp. Like, I don't know how good he is. I think there's some opportunities to feast there.
He's okay. He's above average, I would say. Jenkins is a very good player. And Morgan's getting better, and Banks is solid. So they're compared to most teams that aren't spoiled to a ludicrous degree, like the Eagles. It's a pretty good offensive line compared to everybody else. So yeah, they're just a good team. They're a good team, all around team. Good offense. Very few teams have top 5 offense, top 5 defense. They were in that category until last week. Still top 8 offense, top 5 defense. Very well-rounded, good team that can beat you on both sides of the football. Where I think the Eagles might have an advantage is the kicking game. not a, McManus is old, not Tim, but Brandon. Um, yeah, so Jake's a better kicker, so if it comes down to that, and it's a weather game too, so it's gonna.
I think at 20 degrees. I think the Eagles are used to that. It's just the first one of the year.
Well, I mean, from a kicking standpoint, generally you don't get those big booming 60-yarders.
Yeah,
when it's that cold. No, I think from a footing perspective and all, it'll be fine. Devontae's not going to be happy. He doesn't like playing in the cold, but he's done fine in it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean from a kicking perspective, you're probably not getting any 60-yarders today.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go to some super chats. I want to thank everybody for being here. Hit that like button. Got a big crowd in here today. Can we get the 350 likes today for game day? Appreciate everybody for being here. All super chats always go to the top. Let's get to them now. Vulnerable Vitality started the show off early. Happy birthday to my fellow Marines in the chat. Semper Fidelis. I love it. Vulnerable. Happy birthday to the great United States Marine Corps. Well done. Brian Fleming says, who remembers Big Shot? The mascot.
I love
Big Shot.
I love Big Shot.
For the Sixers.
I love Big Shot far more than hip hop.
Yeah.
Far more.
Big Shot was good. He wore the number 1 jersey, didn't he? I think I remember the pictures of him.
Big goofy Muppet looking thing. Yeah,
I love
Big Shot.
Muppet version of Jordan Davis and Cilio.
I love Big Shot. In fact, I would bring him back before I'd bring hip hop back.
It's a good one. Fleming, good pull. Here's Corporate B Pumper. This is a legacy game for Green Bay. QB's in the 27th birthday. Kennard on a possible 4th ring chase, and Micah revenge game. This is their year, fellas, not ours. SM.
I love that part stick. There's never a legacy game at week 10 of the NFL, but
it's Pumper, John. Don't put them
I get it. Yeah. Kennard chasing that 4th ring is tremendous legacy. I'm gonna, vote for him for the Hall of Fame.
There you go. Here's Dank. What's up, Dank? You know why we hate them? Jaden Daniels dancing while losing by 18 in the NFC Championship. That was brutal. Screw Washington.
Okay. Whatever. The guys celebrate when they're down 30 and make a turnover. I mean,
that was a bad look, John. Playoff game.
It's always a bad look. Yeah, everybody's got a celly now. That's what the kids call it.
Well, so remember, it's still an entertainment game. You know what I mean? Like, I know, but down 30, 23 scores in a playoff game, and you're
happens that watch every week. You saw guys that late
in the NFC Championship game.
Wow, my point is that's a generation of people that think differently of the game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
they celebrate everything.
That's
everything.
Here's Leon. J-Mac, take the L, bro. Stop deflecting. You're wrong. He said he was wrong.
I get a kick out of people.
And here's N1. Commanders tickets are back at $50. Life is good again. And you call plays for $100. Fuck them. Go Birds. I don't know what you mean by call plays for $100.
Yeah, I don't know.
N1, thank you, brother.
It's like, back when, because I'm a Yankees fan, back when we used to own the Boston Red Sox, there was a great commercial. Alec Baldwin, Yankees fan, John Krasinski, Red Sox fan. They were arguing back and forth about their teams. And Baldwin just ended it with, kindling doesn't have a rivalry with fire. You're fire. They're the kindling. Act like it.
That's fair. Scott Squad says, with Green Bay's tight end out, they will use their running game more. Baum will be tested against Jacobs. I agree. I think he's ready for the
test. I never worry about Zach Baum.
Me neither.
I'll tell you that. That guy is unbelievable football player.
Here's Sean Mims. Ask Sills about Mayfield and Allen. They bout not MVP. I'll ask him about him. I'm sure we'll talk about him today, Sean. But yeah, they Josh Allen does not look good right now. And Baker Mayfield has kind of fallen off a little bit. John, you were on that early. Yeah, here's Corporate B Pump. Go ahead, John, if you want to respond to
that. Baker's not an MVP level player. Good player, good quarterback. Not MVP level quarterback.
Here's Corporate Pump. B Pumper does not believe in all the hoopla with his Eagles. This will start our 2-game skid. These next two games are these next two teams are
Pumper
flat out
even an
holding
Eagles fan. I kind of like Pumper from the fact he is an Eagles fan, but he just always shits on the Eagles. I think it's
so you
interesting.
can't really tell what he is, you
Yeah.
know. Simple. He says
I
they're better
see
than
him.
us.
Yeah. Now the Eagles are a very good team. I don't like this spot though. Doesn't mean I hate your favorite team.
Here's Dank. When the kindling thinks it's fire, though.
Still kindling. What does it matter? What does it matter? Yeah. I mean, like it's the old thing with Barry Sanders scoring a touchdown versus the celebrations you're talking about celebrating.
Yeah.
Act like you've been there fucking before.
Yeah,
You're
right.
the Super Bowl champions. Your team. Act like you've been there before.
Well,
That's how I approach it.
I agree with you. But isn't that even more elevated when Jaden's dancing like an idiot in the end zone down 3 scores?
Hey,
in the NFC
let them. But my point is, why would that bother you? Who
Yeah,
gives
I
a
get
shit?
that. That's fine. Well, like you just said, you mean you prefer Barry just handing the ball to the official.
Well, I'm saying that's what I act like you've been there before. The Eagles fans, again, to the point of this overarching mentality of you got to be the underdog. You're not the underdog. This is literally the first game all year you've been in. Are they still an underdog? They're always favored for the most part.
I think they're 1.5 points.
Everybody thinks they're the best organization in football. And they are organizationally. Like you're the top of the food chain. Act like it. You're not, you don't have to worry about, oh, we haven't won a Super Bowl. Now you got 2. Oh, we haven't done this. We haven't done that. No, you're top of the food chain. You're Barry Sanders. Hand the football to the official, move on to the next one. That's my advice. You can do whatever you want.
Fair enough, Johnny Mac. John, a couple minutes left on the show today. All right, Eagles taking on the Packers tonight, 8:15 under the lights, a little Monday night football action. Your final thoughts here, John, on a Monday edition, a game day Monday of Birds 365.
Finally, a football game is here. We can get back to actually talking about things that actually happened on the field tomorrow. And it is a little bit more interesting to see how Jalen Phillips specifically will fit in because I think he'll have a big role right off the bat. Obviously, the other two, Jair's not even going to play, not even in Green Bay. Probably want to keep him away from that. That was part of it, obviously, because he was with the Packers for a long time. Michael Carter will have a limited role, I expect. So the Phillips part is the most interesting thing on the field to see how he fits in early, and I think it's going to work out well. I think that was that will end up being a great trade for the Eagles.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Appreciate it. Big game today, brother. Maybe one of the best of the year so far versus Packers team in Green Bay. Lambeau Field, obviously a historic football place to play, and it should be a good one tonight. We will talk to you, John, on the pregame show tonight, my friend.
And that, a standalone game real quick before I leave. That it's good to have 2 good teams, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there were some shit shows in the late afternoon window yesterday. So it should be a good game.
Yeah, good stuff. Johnny Mac, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you tonight, all right?
All right, see you guys.
All right, thank you, man. There's Johnny Mac. John McMullen joining us right here on Birds 365. A great show today. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. Got a big crowd in here. It's game day. It's game day, everybody. Eagles, Packers, Monday Night Football. Prime time at Lambeau Field. Brian Pumper, we will go belt to ass today on the Packers. I'm sorry, I'm not a believer in this Packers team. I haven't been all year. I know they're a great roster. They got a lot of great players. How can I buy Jordan Love? How can I buy him without his tight end he's been going to all year? How can I buy him without Jaden Reed? How can I buy this Packer team? I'm not buying them. Certainly not when it comes to a matchup versus us. Certainly not when it comes to a matchup versus us. That's not to say they're not a talented team. That's not to say that they're not a good team. All right, they are a good team. We're a great team. That's the difference. All right, that is the difference, that we are a great team, and we are great by winning as much as we win. At the end of the day, winning is what matters more than any stats, more than any numbers, more than any offensive philosophies, more than any of that bullshit. Winning matters the most, and nobody does it at a higher clip than the Eagles. All right, so coming in, it's a big game. I understand my score prediction, a little lofty. I normally don't have lofty score predictions. The last time I had a lofty score prediction, if anybody can remember, was the NFC Championship game last year when I felt like we were going to blow out the Commanders, and we blew the Commanders out. All right, now I feel like not a blowout, but I don't think this Packer team hangs with us. All right, I think this is the week that the NFL world starts to look at the Eagles again as the freight train of the NFL that everybody else is inevitably going to have to deal with at some point or go through at some point. That's what I think happens tonight. All right. Here's my boy, Big Pumper. Zander, I'm disappointed in you, sir. You've fallen for the banana in the tailpipe again. I can't believe you've been fooled again. SMH. We are not good, sir. All right, Pump. Look, I think at the end of the day, Pump, we got some things to fix, as every team does. This team is a good team, man. This team wins a lot of football games. All right. It's hard to win in the NFL, dude. This isn't college. All right. This isn't Ole Miss versus Citadel this weekend. All right. It's the NFL, man. It's the National Football League. It's hard to fucking win in the National Football League. All right. It's hard to win in the National Football League. And this team wins a lot. They win a lot. So I don't agree with you at all that I'm fooled. I think at the end of the day, you might be fooled. I think I'm going with what the team has shown and proven for their multiple year sample size. Now you can be disappointed in me because you're picking somebody else. That's all right. That's all right. But I think the Eagles are a better team here tonight. I think the Eagles have the advantage tonight. I think the Eagles are coming off a bye week. I think they're more healthy. I think they got reinforcements at the edge with Jalen Phillips, and I think even Brandon Graham has an opportunity to have an impact. Maybe it's not much. I understand coming out of retirement. I understand all those things, but I think the Eagles are just a better team tonight. And I'm not a Jordan Love believer, man. All right, I'm not a Brian. Are you a Jordan Love believer? Are you a Jordan Love believer? That would be my question for you. That would be my question for you. I think the only fair, right now, I think the most fair commentary in terms of criticism of the Eagles is what John was pointing out about. The offense should be better. And I'm fine with that. As an Eagle fan, you'd be remiss if you think there's times when I'm not watching and I'm like, please, for the love of Christ, I shouldn't say that. You Lord name in vain. For the love of football, can this offense move the ball? All right. I'd say that. So I think that's the only fair thing, but I just think we're the better team tonight. I think Jordan Love is going to suffer tonight, man. I think he's going to have a tough, tough night. Zander, the Washington, but Kyle, I told you that all summer. So as much as Cilio and John tried to sell me that the next coming was Jaden Daniels, and look out, everybody, there's a new king in the NFL. I didn't buy that shit for 1 second. Not in the summer, not in the start of the year, not after the NFC title game. I never bought it. 1 year and 20 years, you're competent. 1 year and 20. I'm going to need to see a little bit more than that. All right? I'm going to need to see a little bit more than that. I didn't buy that bullshit. All right? J Love is better than Hurts. I don't know about that. All right? Jordan is mid. I'm with you. The Commanders. I'm with you, Josh. All right? I'm with you. All right. I hope everybody had a great weekend. All right. Sixers played 1-1 in the black jerseys. A back-to-back. A lot of back-to-backs early in the year. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. All right. But 1-1. Again, I'll remind all Sixers fans, don't view this season like it's NBA championship or bust. We are moving into a new era. All right. Embiid is on the outs in that era, and it's the Maxey era, all right? Time to build around him. I think he put up 33 last night again. I mean, the dude is just a hooper. Dude is just a flat-out hooper. It's I don't know what – I don't get it, HKP. I feel like every time I turn around, there's a back-to-back for the Sixers, So that was good. College football on Saturday was pretty electric. A lot of good games there. Alabama got the win over LSU. Well done to the Crimson Tide. How about that Penn State game? How about that toe tapper by Indiana to end that football game? Sorry, Penn State fans. Sorry, Penn State fans. A toe tapper at the finish. Oh, baby. Fan of the Batman. It looks like he's got a Saquon Penn State. So you're probably a Penn State guy. Must have had a tough Saturday. Who's winning tonight? What's your prediction? I got 30-20 Eagles. I know that's a little lofty and you know, a cold game in Green Bay, and I got them putting 30 up, but I feel good about it. You know, I was going to go 28-17, but Cilio stole my prediction. So, yeah, so many absurd catches, Reyes. All right, Houston says, Birds 30, Packers 7. Guys, score predictions in the chat. Hit me with the score predictions in the chat right now. I need to see where everybody's head is on this game. All right. Z, can we get a pregame? You want me to give a pregame speech? Holy shit, Howard, I can get one. All right. Now, the toe tap was nuts. 28-23, that's not bad. 34-21, holy shit. Pumper has the Packers going off. All right. 34-21, I'm assuming you're going Eagles. 100-0. Please refrain from using these dumb predictions. Scooby-Doo, I appreciate you, but that does nothing for the combo. 27-17, I like that. 27-14, I like that. Because I this Packer offense, when they're not good, they're not good. They have 13 points and 10 points in their 2 losses. Not good. 34-17, 40-27. Afraid that's a big score, my friend. 52-3, stupid comment. 21-10 Eagles. All right, Kokorski, low scoring. Nina Austin, what's up, Nina? 27-13. I like that score. I'm kind of in your ballpark. I went 30-20. Maybe 20 is a little lofty for this Packer team. 30 is also a little lofty, I understand. 33-32 on a walk-off safety. That is a ridiculous prediction, but I like it. 10-10 tie. 31-28 Eagles. Deshae, I like that. Good prediction there. Close one. 24-17 Birds, Philly Don says. I like it. All right, 28-17. That's kind of where I was, HKP. Cilio stole the prediction. All right. Fan of the Batman says, I'm a Penn State fan, but a bigger Barkley fan. Probably my favorite player of all time. I like it. He's a great football player, man. A great guy. Did you watch the Saquon documentary on Amazon Prime? I thought that was pretty dope. 24-17, Cal, that's a good score. It's kind of right in the ballpark. Corporate says Pump says the Packers will be ready for us. Pump, I'm not sure why you're so high on this Packers team. I don't think they've shown as much as you think. All right. I just don't like Jordan Love that much. I just don't. Ray says, dumb comment, like any of y'all have hit it on a prediction this year. What do you mean? I'm pretty fucking good at my predictions. And I'm Reyes. I don't think 52-3 has happened fucking once in the history. All right, dickhead? So, yeah, it was a dumb comment. 38 points is crazy. It is. That's a lot. All right. Whoever controls the weather is trying to make the Birds fans miss the game. A lot of canceled flights. Maybe you're right. A little bit of weather manipulation, Siglord. I'll buy that conspiracy. Izzy B says 28-21 Eagles. A good score, Izzy B. I like that score. I was 28-17 feeling. I went 30-20. 28-21 is a good one. Y'all sleeping on this game. 38-10 Birds. Come on, Brandon Howard. You don't even believe that. 31-17. Roll Philly. I like it. Harp, I've read about that, Siglord. Packers don't scare me, and neither does their offense. Blaze, I'm with you, dude. I am with you. Yeah, I've read about that. The HAARP thing. I've read about that. All right. Houston wants to see me on the Battle Royale. I'll leave that to them, brother. All right. I'll leave that to them for now. Hey, dickhead, remember you crashed out to the Giants? I never lost faith. Cool, bro. That doesn't make you better than anybody else. The Eagles have lost the Super Bowl or lost before the Super Bowl 57 out of 59 times. Just makes you a fanboy, which is fine. You're entitled to be a fanboy, but I'm not serving the role that you're serving. I'm making content. I'm being objective on the shows. I didn't crash after the Giants game. I said we played like dog shit. I said the offense was dog shit. Get it right, Reyes. You're a fanboy. I'm not. You're a Glazer fanboy. That doesn't make you better than anybody. Most fans are fanboys. And most teams don't win the final game of the year. So most fanboys end up eating more crow than people who are objective. So Reyes, go to the corner, sit down, and shut the fuck up. All right? Thank you, Reyes. Appreciate it. Here's Deshae. What's up, Deshae? Oh, yeah, Zander. Again, the Buckeyes have the 3 best players in the country, and I want Alabama. Well, Deshae, I will say this. Speaking of objectivity, Ryan Williams can't hold the candle to the receivers that you guys got. I'm sorry, he just can't. He's a solid player, but he's overrated, and I don't think he's as good as people talked him up to be. He's certainly nowhere near Jeremiah Smith, and quite frankly, I don't think he's really close to Carnell Tate either. So I agree with you from that perspective. I'm not as high on Julian Sayin as some of the Ohio State fans are. I think he's a great quarterback, but I don't quite think he's ready for that yet to be crowned as like a Heisman guy. But I like the Buckeyes. Look, the Buckeyes are a good team. I've never said they weren't a good team. I just think you guys get ahead of yourselves a little bit. All right? I think you guys get ahead of yourselves. That's all. Yeah, HKP. Me too. Look, he's got tremendous talent. You know what I don't like about him, HKP? He shies away from every bit of contact. And if you shy away from contact, you're going to get into a game where you become a liability as a wide receiver. Devontae Smith is a small dude. Have you ever seen Devontae Smith shy away from contact? I have never seen it in my life. Ryan Williams shies away from contact, dude. He shies away from contact too much. Now, that was a great touchdown catch he had, but you see him catch that ball in the middle of the field, bro, the first thing he is, look, oh, am I going to get clocked? Goes down. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like that about Ryan Williams. All right? I don't like that about Ryan Williams. All right? Smith, elite route running, and he's not afraid of contact. As I just mentioned, he's a smaller dude, but he doesn't play like a smaller dude. He's tactical. He's fundamental. He's a technician with the way he runs routes, and he doesn't shy away from shit in the game. He's absolutely fearless. That's what you need. Williams reminds me of J. You know what? I don't even think he has that over-the-top ability that J-Mo had. How many times did Bryce Young hit Jamison Williams over the top, man? A lot. I haven't seen that with Ryan Williams yet this year for Alabama. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have that ability, but I don't know. I like Ryan, but I do think he's much overrated in terms of, you know, there was talk about him being like the best receiver in college football. He's not the best receiver in college football. He's not even better than the 2 dudes in Ohio State or even close to him. All right. So, you know, I try and be objective with everything. I'm a massive Alabama fan. I think the Bama team has a great team. I think Ty Simpson didn't have his best game on Saturday versus LSU at all. I thought that was one of the worst games of the year I've seen for Ty Simpson. But yeah, at the end of the day, you get the job done, you make the plays, and you know, you win the game. You know, I thought that LSU spot was tough because LSU was a team that was obviously immensely talented in terms of the players that they had on the team. You can fire a coach in the middle of the year, but you don't get rid of the talent in the middle of the year. That talent is still on that roster. So I always thought that was a tough game coming in for Bama. I am happy they handled business, and they did that. So well done by them. Here's Corporate Pump. There was a time when being a real Philly sports fan meant something. That standing O for the trade did a number. Also, VJ Edgecrumb shoots tour dates. Pumper, I think I'm a pretty real Philly fan. All right. Now you don't have to agree with me on everything, but I've always remained objective, and I'll criticize the team if they warrant criticism. All right. And I think that's a good thing, by the way. I don't think being a fan like Reyes does anything for anybody. I mean, he's entitled to do it. I don't really care what he does, but that's not how I analyze sports. It's never how I analyze sports. It's never how I think anybody should analyze sport. Again, we have a hobby here that we spend morning, noon, and night. We spend a lot of time consuming this game, consuming these sports teams, consuming about. Don't you want to do a little bit more than just like slurp all day? I don't know. Like, that's just like not how I view life, but whatever. Zander, look at the Packers schedule so far. Yeah, not great. Same with the Rams. Same with the Patriots. But look, at the end of the day, Jimmy, at the end of the day, this is my problem with this. The Eagles lost to the fucking Giants. The Eagles lost to the Vikings. No, we didn't lose to the Vikings. Who the fuck else did we lose to? I fucking just mixed it up. I fucking forgot who we lost to. Who the fuck did we lose to this year? The Broncos. Not the Vikings. The shitty fucking Broncos. Fuck the Broncos. All right? But my point is that I'm not going to criticize somebody for having a lighter schedule when we've lost games that are lighter, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like the Rams haven't had a great schedule, but like they're still playing good football. The Panthers were playing good. They just lost to the fucking Saints. Like you go back and forth in this game, in this league, week to week. So I'm not going to look at their schedule and say, hey, schedule's not that good. They're winning games. All right? They're winning football games. The Rams, I think, right now are playing like the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. I think Matthew Stafford's playing like the best quarterback in the NFL right now. All right? Kimberly says, Z needs some dunking. Kimberly, the dunking didn't hit the same today, man. I'm almost done this XL. Always XL, by the way, for me. Thing's not hitting. Thing is not hitting. Was that Deron Payne? I didn't think it was Deron Payne. Yeah, that was stupid. They just like clocked Amon-Ra in the face. I saw that. Pretty funny. I'm sure all the sensitives are very mad at Amon-Ra for doing the Trump dance, which is pretty hilarious. All right. Puka is living on a prayer. I know, Reyes. If it makes you feel better, you can say every other player in the league who's not on the Eagles sucks. Every other team who's not the Eagles sucks. And every player on the Eagles is the greatest player in football. I know, Reyes. It's so much. I understand. It is so much easier and stupider to do that. It doesn't make you smart to say, I never jumped off the Eagles. Bro, you fucking think every Eagles player is the greatest player since sliced bread. They're not. We got a good team. There's plenty of other good players in football. Puka is one of them. They gave me decaf. Doesn't taste. I could taste decaf instantly. I don't drink decaf coffee. All right. Zander with the short-term memory loss. No, it's not that. But I do have a little bit of short-term memory loss. Reminds me of Underdog when I was talking to him. Zan on Reyes today. I love Reyes. He can take it. I watched it. Yeah, watch Stafford. That dude is he is a great quarterback, man. That dude can sling the rock. That dude can absolutely stone cold sling the rock. One of the best quarterbacks in football still. How old is he? 38? How old is Matthew Stafford? 37 years old. All right. Oh, Reyes, I'm done with you today. You're not Reyes. Normally, you at least give some like good comments, a pushback. You're not. You know, maybe save it for the Cilio show, Reyes. It's not working. Not working here this morning. Just not resonating with me. He's taking a beating. Yes, he is. Puka would be the best player on the offensive side. Well, I don't know if we would use Puka like they use Puka. I know John loves to shit on McVay, but I don't give a shit what you say about McVay. That dude is a good offensive mind. He might struggle at the other stuff of being a head coach, sure. That dude can draw up some plays. That dude can scheme an offense. That dude can scheme a player open. And that quarterback can get the ball to him. That's the reality. Matthew Stafford's a beast, and I think Sean McVay is a great offensive play caller. Here's Curtis Z. Are we the blank holes defense now? How many? I don't know. Probably. We got some holes, Curtis. We're not the no holes defense right now. Certainly not. Motorscape says, I was in a meeting with my kid's teacher. Uh-oh. Motorscape, nothing worse than the parent-teacher conferences. You know, when I used to have them when I was a kid, I would wait up in my room and I would look out the window for when my parents would get home, and then I would fake sleep because every time my parents ever had a parent-teacher conference, it was not good. All right? I was not a teacher's pet. I was the shit stirrer, all right, in school. All right. I spent more time in the principal's office than most. I got some great high school stories I should one day tell you guys, but I won't do it today. And I won't do it today. Oh, but Dirty Air, to answer your question, Johnny Mack picked the Packers today. Johnny Mack picked the Packers. He picked 24-20 Green Bay. 24-20 Green Bay. I picked 30-20 Birds. I think the Birds win today, man. I've been on the double-digit thing. I think this Packers team is good. I don't think they're ready to compete with the best teams in the NFL. I just don't. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're – I think the Rams can compete with us. I think the Lions can compete with us. I don't know if I see it yet on the Packers. We beat them, what, in the playoffs? 22-10? So maybe it's a little lower scoring than I put, but I think we beat them by double digits. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here early today. I got a lot of content to do today. We had the morning show, obviously. We got the National Football Show 2 to 6. Then we have the pregame show. Then we have the halftime show. Then we have the postgame show, and we also have the JAKIB Green Zone. So for anybody who can't get the game because of YouTube TV or whatever bullshit is out there, or you're not in the market or whatever, tune into the JAKIB Green Zone here on the channel. Listen to my pop, Joe Krause, call the game. He does a great job play-by-play. Got a great play-by-play voice, and he calls the game phenomenally well. So tune into JAKIB Sports all day. We got a boatload of content. Sorry, Zander time's not a little longer today, but I got to save the voice, all right? My voice is already a little scratchy. So appreciate all you guys. Love all you guys. Hit that like button. I want to get to 300-plus likes today for game day, all right? We had a lot of viewers today. 300 likes for the game day, all right? Let's get to 300-plus, maybe 350-plus if we can. Love all you guys. See you next time, everybody.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.